up to date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Before I moved to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now, when she comes over, we go to concerts, enjoy delicious meals, and participate in great activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be about fun, not fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again. Get started today at CapriCommunities.com.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, April 13th. Your top story, focusing first on staffing at Wisconsin's largest school district.
I'm Jessica Ty, imposing her own blockade of the Strait of Hormuz.
Partly cloudy today, warm conditions, chance of afternoon and evening storms, high 74 degrees, rain possible tonight at a low of 60. It's 73 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, nearly 90 new teaching positions will be added next year across Milwaukee Public Schools. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Cassellius says it's part of a plan to manage and reduce class sizes while building a balanced budget. Telling Wisconsin's Morning News.
Now we have to turn our attention to staffing all of those positions because, we have a vacancy problem in our district as well. But want to let the public know that we are ready and wanting to welcome all of the teachers across Wisconsin, across this nation that want to come work for a really amazing school district.
With the addition of more teachers, Cassellius says cuts to other areas will become necessary to help close a nearly $50 million budget deficit. District officials are expected to present a final budget plan next month.
A man is now charged with climbing over a bathroom stall at the Milwaukee Intermodal Station and sexually assaulting a stranger.
Station security told investigators they found the man assaulting a woman on the bathroom floor. One of the guards then fired a single shot that didn't hit anyone before the man, identified in a complaint as Cephas Johnson, was arrested. The complaint notes the alleged station assault was the second incident in under 12 hours involving Johnson, who is also accused of assaulting a different woman outside a Wisconsin Avenue bar. He also allegedly told investigators if released, he would, quote, kill women. Downtown Alderman Bob Bauman is now calling on the state DOT to increase station security. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Leaders in Milwaukee say crime is trending in the right direction to begin the year. Milwaukee Police Department releasing first quarter data showing overall crime is down 8% compared to a year ago. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ.
We're seeing double-digit percentage drops in robberies, in auto thefts, in arsons, in assaults, in carjackings, and non-fatal shootings when compared to this time last year. Now, we're keeping a very careful eye on burglaries and thefts because those numbers have unfortunately shown a small increase.
Mayor Johnson says the city will continue to monitor homicides as the numbers are still near the totals from a year ago.
President Trump says the U.S. military is imposing its own blockade on the Strait of Hormuz after talks between the U.S. and Iran fizzled over the weekend. According to the Trump administration, the U.S. is targeting vessels utilizing Iranian ports. ABC's Martha Raddatz says Iran has already threatened to target U.S. ships in the area.
The U.S. military says the blockade will be enforced against vessels of all nations attempting to enter or exit Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. forces stress they will not impede the navigation of boats coming to or leaving from non-Iranian ports. It's not clear how the blockade will be enforced or whether ships moving within the strait will allow searches from the U.S. or, of course, whether any ships will even enter the strait.
Iran's closure of the strait is pushing up the cost of gas, food, and other basic goods far beyond the Middle East.
And a federal judge is throwing out President Trump's $10 billion lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal.
Miami-based Judge Darren Gales ruled Donald Trump's team had failed to prove that the Wall Street Journal defamed him when it reported that Trump's name was on a lewd 2003 birthday greeting for Jeffrey Epstein. But he left open the possibility that Trump could refile the case, and a spokesman for the president's legal team just said that's exactly what they plan to do. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green here. Modest gains right now for the Dow, up about 10 points at 47,924. Good day for the NASDAQ, up about 150 points at 23,056. And the S&P 500 is up about 30 this afternoon at 6847. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Big changes ahead for the Milwaukee Bucks. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. You know, I always tell people if you're even thinking about a vehicle, you got to stop by Griffin Ford. They make it easy. They've got the greatest selection, the best service, sales staff that won't pressure you. It's just easy. And right now, over 250 new Fords in stock, plus hundreds of pre-owned certified vehicles. They've all been checked out, whether it's the fuel-efficient Maverick, the family-ready Explorer, which I love, or the legendary F-150, America's best-selling truck for over 49 straight years. They've got it at Griffin Ford in Waukesha. And I love that they offer every powertrain option, gas, diesel, hybrid, even electric, and they've got retired service loaner vehicles right now, so you get a nearly new car at a used car price. And don't forget, Griffin Ford wants to buy your car. Bring it in for a no-cost appraisal. It's easy. They're paying top dollar right now. Located at 1940 East Main Street in Waukesha, it's my place. Griffin Ford, huge selection, great people, a dealership I trust.
In 2027, the world's most iconic landscapes are yours to explore with Fox Group Vacations and Globus. Imagine the lush tropical beauty of Hawaii, the breathtaking peaks of the Swiss Alps by rail, or the rugged wonder of the Australian outback. With expert-led itineraries and a community of fellow travelers, we handle every detail so you can simply enjoy the view. Your next great adventure awaits. Call 866-GO-FOXGO or visit foxworldtravel.com today.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers await the results of an MRI that'll determine how much time Christian Yelich is expected to miss with a hamstring injury. He suffered it during Sunday's loss to the Nationals, Milwaukee's fifth straight defeat.
Every team's going to go through this, and it hurts like crazy, but I still like the team. We're most likely going to get some bad news on Yelich to further put us down, if you want to.
The homestand continues for Pat Murphy's crew Tuesday night against the Toronto Blue Jays. After 3 seasons with the Bucks, head coach Doc Rivers is stepping down. The Bucks finished the season with a record of 32-50.
From a coaching perspective, you feel like, the city that you're from, you didn't get the job done, and that is something I carry very heavy with me. When asked if he's played his last game as a member of the Bucks, Giannis tells Eric Name of The Athletic, "I don't know. It's not up to me. We'll see." Giannis is eligible to sign a contract extension October 1st.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I really like what I'm seeing right now. We have no crashes. In fact, we don't have many disabled vehicles out in the system either. The only thing that we are dealing with at the moment is a little bit of slowing in some of our construction zones, and not all of them, so we'll take that. 4145 north around the Mayfair area, we are seeing slowing there. Specifically, it gets real slow right around North Avenue. But then once you hit Burleigh, you're good to go. It's clear. Also, 94 around the ballpark, headed westbound. That looks great. Headed eastbound, we do have a little bit of slowing right after American Family Field. But once you get past 35th Street, it looks clear.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Partly cloudy and warm today. Chance for a round of showers here in the afternoon. Looking somewhere between 4 and 9 o'clock or so. We'll try and dial in the timing throughout the course of the show. Nice conditions right now. 74 your high today. Overnight low 60. Similar situation on Tuesday with a high of 75. Wednesday's high just 62 with a chance of rain and thunderstorms. Thursday 67. 73 partly cloudy in Milwaukee. 109 in our studios at the Avenue.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
I've already lost a layer since we walked into our studios here. We were both prepping for our show upstairs, and very comfortable temperatures. Sun is shining, beautiful. As soon as we walked downstairs, it felt like a tropical oasis that we walked into. It's a little thick, but hey, it's got us feeling summer. I'll take it.
I would rather be warm than cold, though. I know everybody has their own perspective on that, but I'm happy to be a little bit warmer than I am to be like, woo, it's chilly.
We'll keep you updated on the forecast throughout the day because rain is expected. Couple rounds of storms possible here tonight.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Doc is done. It's confirmed now. Today, the Milwaukee Bucks announced Doc Rivers is stepping down as head coach. Rivers took over in January of 2024 and led the team to 2 playoff appearances, plus the 2024 Emirates NBA Cup championship. But many fans were frustrated with Doc, feeling he should have been able to do more with a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team. The Bucks missed the playoffs this season for the first time in 10 years. There are also reports of a disconnect between Doc and the players this season. Here's Rivers last night after the Bucks' final game of the season.
You know, it's too early to reflect. Honestly, I just want to be known as a good guy at the end of the day, a good parent. And I was able to change some of the players that I've coached lives. Other than that, it's not really for me to talk about.
Today, Bucks ownership is thanking Rivers for his leadership, calling him a class act both on and off the court. Rivers says he truly loved his time here in Milwaukee. He said it was special to come back to a city where he got his start. Remember, Doc played 3 seasons for Marquette in the early 80s. So many of us thought this is going to be a great fit. And it seemed like a good fit back when the Bucks announced him.
Doc Rivers to the Milwaukee Bucks makes a lot of sense.
Until it didn't. The Milwaukee Bucks now begin their 3rd head coaching search in 3 years.
They are going to pay Rivers for the final year of his contract, so they're either going to pay him to go away and do nothing like they did with Adrian Griffin and Mike Budenholzer, or they'll keep him around in some way, shape, or form to work alongside the front office. I really don't know what that would mean, but it might make it difficult for him to get to Grandparents' Day if he's got another role with the Bucks. So I don't know. It's unclear where it's going to end up with Doc and the Bucks. He's just not going to coach next year.
Grandparents' Day, by the way, this year on a Sunday.
UW Athletic Director Chris McIntosh stepping down after 5 years on the job in Madison, leaving for a role with the Big Ten Conference beginning May 1st. In fact, the Big Ten Conference has already announced the hiring or the appointment of McIntosh. He was handpicked and groomed by former AD Barry Alvarez. UW does have 13 conference titles and 4 national championships and an impeccable graduation rate over 90% under McIntosh's watch. However, after sending shockwaves around college football with the hiring of Luke Fickell, the program has suffered back-to-back losing seasons for the first time since 1990, or in the 90s. McIntosh lobbied for more money to pay student athletes. He got it, signaling maybe a getting with the times and competing in the arms race for top talent.
There was a need to invest more in football, and that's what we did, and that's what we've been executing. And I think, the progress we've shown and the success we've had in the portal just this last week is the first step of many that show the progress we're making.
Quite the transition of leadership now at the UW, with Chancellor Mnuchin recently announcing she's leaving for Columbia University. The Board of Regents just last week fired President Jay Rothman. As for who could replace McIntosh, well, Evan Cohen, we've had him on the program here before. He's the host of ESPN's morning radio show Unsportsmanlike. He's a proud UW grad. He has a suggestion.
I have one name that I would look at if I was the Badgers. Mark Tauscher?
Tausch, for what it's worth, he was on the morning show today, and he said, I would take the phone call. Tausch, ardent Badger supporter, he said, I'll do anything I can to help get this program turned around. So if a phone call comes his way, I guess Tausch would take it, if nothing else.
Evan had a lot of great reasons as to why Tausch could be a great fit for this spot. He said the only thing that he didn't really have is experience in this role.
Oh,
but you know what?
Okay.
You got to start somewhere, right? Every new role, you got to start and move up. That's how you get the experience.
I feel like with athletic director now, you're more of a salesperson than anything else. Like that role has changed so much, even since McIntosh has taken over. Trying to prepare for NIL, this world of unknown, was very difficult. They were a little slow in getting the kind of resources necessary for football. Basketball has navigated some tricky waters, and they've done a nice job with it. But all the other successes that I mentioned, Unfortunately, at a school like Wisconsin, Big Ten, if you don't have it in football, it overshadows everything else. He's done a lot of good things for UW.
Another big story at noon, the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is now in effect. The U.S. is threatening any large energy-carrying ships especially from entering or exiting the strait. Military analyst and retired U.S. Army General Mike Lyons on the options President Trump has set up.
You saw the president say that we are going after the petroleum sites and not necessarily blocking the straits, or we're going to allow certain ships through it, but for all practical purposes, just try to do this economic blockade on Iran itself.
A couple of oil tankers have already turned back today. You can actually track the ships live on the Marine Traffic website. Pretty interesting to do that. Meanwhile, oil prices are up again, hovering around $95 a barrel. About 20% of the world's oil supply is shipped right through the strait.
Coming up next, MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy joins us. We'll dive into the UW situation with him. Might he be on the search committee? Maybe Tim should run for AD. We'll do it after this.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday can be a real challenge, right? Make it easier with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love easy, and I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a top choice award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Plus, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a choice steak, the twin lobster tails, the braised pork shank. How about ribs, pasta, seafood, even a big, huge, fresh salad? Any entree, your second dinner is free. Dessert and ice cream drinks, I love those. Also, buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy for the table. 4 desserts, get 4 free. Relax with a cocktail, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Old World Bar is elegant, 8 beautiful dining rooms. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Start your week with a free dinner at the award-winning Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Tables are open, serving from 4. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local, instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC. Our economic spotlight is sponsored by Horicon Bank. Together, doing good. HoriconBank.com, truly the natural choice, and member FDIC. Time to welcome in Senior Advisor to the MMAC. It's Tim Sheehy. Hey, Tim.
Always good to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here. So leadership in flux here at the University of Wisconsin. Want to play this clip for you, Tim. This was back in January with Chancellor Mnuchin echoing some sentiments and thoughts about Chris McIntosh.
You know, it's not altogether surprising that there will be and can be bumps in the road. What we need is somebody passionate, committed, and strategic, who also will be accountable for the program's success. And I have every faith that Mac is going to execute on that successfully.
Well, less than 4 months later, Mnuchin is leaving for Columbia, McIntosh leaving for the Big Ten, and last week the Board of Regents fired System President Jay Rothman. What do you make of all this leadership turnover at UW?
Yeah, it's in basketball analogy, it's kind of 0 for 3. You know, each unique situations with the system president, not a pretty picture in terms of how that played out, but probably challenges on both sides when the board and the president are that far apart. But it's sad to see it, you know, play out in public. You know, Chancellor Mnuchin, those people in those jobs are really in demand, and you know, she moved on. Maybe she wasn't going to be a good long-term fit. And in Chris's case, I mean, I've known Chris for more than a decade. He was there when my son played. And the thing I know about Mac is that he's never run from a challenge. And so my sense with his job change is that he's running to a challenge. And the challenge is how the Big Ten figures out how college athletics survives in this new Wild West of the NIL. And maybe Chris felt that his experience was better put to the case in terms of helping college athletics or helping college football, and he could do more than he could at Wisconsin. I certainly think it's a big loss for Wisconsin. And now you have the double whammy here of having to replace an athletic director when you have only an interim chancellor and no president of the system.
This is really interesting because if I think about this as an adult, say I was going for a job and I look at the leadership and all of a sudden you got 3 people at the top who are going or gone, I'm like, okay, that seems like a red flag to me. If I'm thinking about it as a student going into a school, I don't know that I was thinking about the leadership. I was thinking about other things. But what do you think? What does leadership instability at UW mean for business recruitment and keeping young talent in Wisconsin?
Yeah, they're great questions, and it's the answer to all those questions is it's not good. If you're out again in a very competitive environment, trying to find somebody, let's start with the athletic director position, where this is an environment that nobody's seen in college sports before, and you want really somebody who's both strategic, who bleeds red for the Badger program, and they don't have a chancellor in place and they don't have the president of a system. It makes that search very difficult. It also makes the search very difficult if you're the interim chancellor who's trying to figure out how to do the search. And again, this is more than just about a football program. This is the flagship university. It may not give some students pause, but I think it sure does give the state some pause until all these pieces are in place.
Well, it's a massive economic engine here for the state, Tim. We talked about the football program. I had mentioned earlier that, Mac is leaving with 90+% graduation rate and 4 national championships, 13 conference titles. Nobody cares about that because the football team is struggling, right? The football program is everything when it comes to revenue at UW and a little bit basketball. But now that the state is kicking in $14.5 million annually to cover facility maintenance, they're freeing up money for athletes. Finally, Chris McIntosh's requests were granted with more resources for student athletes and paying those athletes to come play football or basketball or whatever. The timing is interesting because it seems like the shackles are finally off. I was curious to see where he would take things. You mentioned this opportunity. Maybe it's a once-in-a-lifetime one, but the timing, I think, is interesting given some recent news.
No, it's a very good question. And the one thing I will say about Mac in the 5 years, or one of the things I'll say about him, is he certainly left the athletic department in better shape than he got it. Now, you may question that by saying, yeah, but the football program's in worse shape in terms of wins and losses. That's true. But he did set the program up well with a new $285 million athletic facility. He's got the program in better stead in terms of financial resources that they're going to need to deal with in the NIL world. And he's got another year, at least we do, hopefully more, with Coach Fickle. So, again, a very challenging environment. And as you point out, the net revenue for the university's athletic department, which supports some 600 athletes, comes from the $114 million that the football program makes. And so it is a very challenging time, but I think the pieces are in place. I think this is a very attractive job. The question is, who's going to make the decision on recruiting that new athletic director?
We're talking with Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor for the MMAC. Tim, new national polling shows a big disconnect between AI's promise and the reality of how we feel about it impacting our daily lives. What do the results tell us? And then I'm kind of wondering, too, if there will be an impact on any of the development of the data centers we're talking about so much here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, great question. And I'm going to do these in rapid succession, but you'll see where they lead. This poll asked people, is AI doing more harm than good? 64% said more harm. When asked the question, do you trust information from artificial intelligence? Never or only sometimes, 75% of the people. Is it likely lead to a decrease in jobs, or will AI likely lead to a decrease in jobs? 70% said yes. 67% say they don't even use it in their own job. And are you excited about AI? not at all, not so much, or somewhat accounted for 72 or 92% of the answers.
Wow.
So when you see this kind of stunning distrust of AI, concern about it, its impact on jobs, it's no surprise when you ask the question, would you support building an AI dentist data center in your community? 74% of the people say no. So I think in some ways Wisconsin is lucky that it has 2 data centers, massive data centers set up and running, because I'm not sure in this environment that you could get another data center built in Wisconsin.
Tim, before we let you go, I wanted to ask your thoughts on Milwaukee becoming a Michelin star city, and if there's any truth to the rumor that you will be a Michelin star raider. You have talked restaurants on this program before, but in all honesty and seriousness, what does it mean here for our community here as this culinary scene continues to pop?
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Visit Milwaukee for pulling this off. I was a bit surprised when I first read that we kind of chipped in to pay Michelin to do this, but you're not really buying a star. I mean, Michelin sells 30 million guides across the globe. They do this in 60 destinations worldwide. So it's really cool, I think, to see a Great Lakes edition coming that'll cover Milwaukee, Cleveland, Detroit, Indy, Minneapolis, and Pittsburgh. And as a big eating fan of Milwaukee, I would put our prospects of getting a Michelin star or multiple Michelin stars up against any of those cities 7 days a week.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the city pitching in for this, because that is controversial. But at the same time, I think that's the only way you can continue to do this if you look at the costs that Michelin has, and to send these inspectors all around the world and to eat out, like 300 days out of 365. It's pretty incredible. But I can't wait to see, and fingers crossed, we can't buy a star, but we can earn one.
No, that's right. And I think, again, Michelin isn't going to trade its credibility. And so I think we have a lot of great candidates, and hopefully we'll start seeing the first stars align in 2027 when the new guide comes out for the Great Lakes.
Always great information with Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC, every Monday here in Wisconsin's Midday News. Great stuff, Tim. Thanks so much.
Take care.
You do the same. It's 12:26. News coming up.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business sees results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Hey, dog lovers and dog owners, connect with the Hounds and Tap and learn what I have learned over the years. It is the go-to place for us with doggy daycare, boarding, and grooming services all on site. Our dog Knight loves it there. Always standing up in the car when we drive by the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. It's right off Silver Spring. Top-tier services for your dog and a place for you to hang out as well. They've got a beautiful indoor-outdoor tavern. You'll see food trucks there. There are theme nights. You can bring the kids on Sunday. It's family day at the Hounds and Tap. Check them out online at thehoundsandtap.com. Wonderful people and finding ways to give back, supporting Winston's Wishes and the wonderful Doggy Day at the Deer District over the weekend. Had a great turnout. Our friends at the Hounds and Tap were behind that entire day. And the beneficiary, Winston Wishes, well, they were behind that as well. It's the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. It's right off Silver Spring. If you are a dog owner and lover, you will love the Hounds and Tap. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Debbie Lazaga here, and I'm so happy with what has been going on with the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've held my hand through everything, and I'm already down over 20 pounds. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's about a pound per day. And for a limited time, get $200 off with their spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Mansick. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, shutting down food trucks earlier.
I'm Jessica Ty, and it all came down to a coin flip.
Partly cloudy and warm. Chance of afternoon and evening storms. High 74.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The showdown over the Strait of Hormuz taking a new turn after the U.S. and Iran talks failed this weekend. President Trump has now imposed a U.S. naval blockade on ships entering and leaving the strait. At the White House, the president says Iran has been charging ships on its own.
We can't let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing. They're really blackmailing the world. We're not going to let that happen.
President Trump also says he posted the AI-generated image of him dressed in biblical clothes similar to what Jesus would wear. The president says he was supposed to be a doctor. The post gained traction online, sparking outcry from some of his most ardent supporters for being anti-Christian. The president has also been openly critical of the Pope, who called for the war in Iran to end. The president says he will not apologize to the Pope. Talks between Israel and Lebanon are still on track for tomorrow. The State Department expected to host the delegations in Washington, D.C. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 12:31. Safety concerns near Water Street are driving support for a new food truck ordinance. The proposal would require food trucks in the downtown entertainment district to shut down at 10 p.m. instead of 1 a.m. The concern? Late-night crowds near the Milwaukee School of Engineering campus. MSOE Board of Regent member Kendall Biernig.
The recent shooting, there was 4 food trucks in the 1200 block of North Broadway. I drove past there by 4 p.m. There was already 3 food trucks parked there. Now, the food trucks are not the problem. It's the crowds that gather around them, and especially later at night.
The ordinance now heads to the full Common Council.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services announces a new plan to invest $31 million from opioid settlement payments.
The money will support prevention, treatment, and recovery programs across the state. Officials say Wisconsin has already seen progress, with opioid overdose deaths dropping more than 40% from 2023 to 2024. The funding includes millions for tribal nations, treatment programs, and community prevention efforts. State leaders say the goal is to continue saving lives and expand access to care for those struggling with addiction. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin's ban on utility shutoffs is ending on Wednesday, meaning some customers could lose power. We Energy says customers who are behind on their bills should contact the company and set up a payment plan. The utility is also warning about scammers who ask for prepaid debit cards, Venmo, or Bitcoin to avoid those shutoffs. We Energy says customers who enroll and keep up with the payment plan will not be disconnected.
As the U.S. military blocks vessels at all Iranian ports and coasts, markets are holding steady as investors try to stay optimistic that talks to end the war will continue. Annex Wealth Management CEO Dave Spano.
It's been pretty muted. You know, there's a lot of questions that are unanswered. If you want to just answer it in the context of what the market is thinking, we're looking at the S&P 500 and can it hold? We look at oil prices. Can they stay, 110 or lower?
Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz has stopped, and oil prices are climbing since President Trump announced the blockade.
An election decided by a coin flip.
In Outagamie County, last week's race for village trustee in Hortonville had 4 candidates vying for 3 open seats. Shauna Keel and Dalton Davis tied for that final seat with 356 votes each. Per state statute, if 2 or more candidates receive the same amount of votes, the winner must be chosen by a random, unbiased method. They flipped a coin to settle that tie. Keel was given heads and Davis had tails. The result was tails, electing Davis to the 3rd position for village trustee. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Heads we go to break, tails we stay.
There we go.
You got a pick?
Heads.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:34. You were right, Heads.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vetrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine. That's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Berghardt.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers await the results of an MRI on the hamstring of Christian Yelich to determine how long he will miss. Yelich suffered the injury during Sunday's loss to the Nationals, Milwaukee's 5th straight defeat.
Every team's going to go through this, and it hurts like crazy, but I still like the team. We're most likely going to get some bad news on Yelich to further put us down, if you want to.
The homestand continues for Pat Murphy's crew Tuesday night against the Toronto Blue Jays. And after 3 seasons with the Bucs, head coach Doc Rivers stepping down. The Bucs finished the season with a record of 32-50.
From a coaching perspective, you feel like, the city that you're from, you didn't get the job done, and that is something I carry very heavy with me.
We'll dive into the future of Giannis as a member of the Bucs with Eric Name of The Athletic coming up in just a few minutes.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We do have one new issue that popped up. It looks like traffic is moving okay around it, though. I-43 North at 4394 North. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down. Also, as far as our construction zones, 94 westbound around the ballpark, looking great. No delays there. 94 eastbound headed into the city right after American Family Field. We are seeing slowdowns there. Also, 4145 north near Mayfair, seeing some slowdowns there due to the construction.
Partly cloudy, warm today, a chance of afternoon and evening storms and a high of 74. Chance of rain tonight and a low of 60. Similar forecast on Tuesday with a high of 75. We cool off a bit on Wednesday, but rain stays in the forecast and a high of 62. 74 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:39. Well, the Doc is out after finishing the season with a record of 32-50. The Bucs announced Doc Rivers stepping down with 1 year left on his contract. The Bucs are either going to pay him to go away or he'll have some sort of role with the team that, at this point, is unclear. I want to go back to something Doc said the day he was brought in. In fact, he had been around the team for about a day and a half. The team was 30-13. And somehow, someway, Adrian Griffin was fired. So Doc sits down, ceremonial homecoming. Welcome back to Milwaukee.
Listen, I've never done this. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I can tell you that.
Okay, all right. That sort of set the tone for Doc's
remember that
tenure
quote, yeah.
in Milwaukee. It was a failure. There's no other way to put it. This was maybe the most disappointing coaching tenure in the history of the franchise. And I don't say that lightly or with any level of hyperbole. I think it's the most disappointing coaching tenure in the history of the Bucs.
Well, and here's the thing. It felt like a good fit because you had Doc, who played for Marquette in the early 80s, and he was coming back to a home of sorts. So we all had high hopes, but those hopes were dashed.
32-50, 11 games out of the play-in in the Eastern Conference after back-to-back seasons in which the Bucs fell out of the playoffs in the first round. Oh, yeah, and then the whole Giannis thing is also going to creep up again. Let's welcome in Eric Name of The Athletic. He covers the Bucs inside and out. Nobody's got more information on the Bucs than Eric, who has joined us all season and joins us in studio here right now. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I don't know where to start here, to be honest with you, but I guess sure. in trying to look forward and instead of trying to figure out why it didn't work with Doc, I am curious at what point in this season you sensed the disconnect, because there was very clearly a disconnect between what Coach was doing, saying, thinking, and how the players were performing, acting, and so on. When did you first notice that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a number of pretty bad losses throughout this season. You go to, I believe, the team's first visit to D.C. That's around December 1st. They lose that game. Giannis just doesn't look very enthused to be there as they're losing to this team that's simply not very good and actively trying to lose games. You go to a 45-point loss in Brooklyn. Kind of the same thing. Giannis didn't play that night, but still losing, as Kyle Kuzma said, losing by 45 to a team that's not trying to win is not acceptable. That and you kind of go through and you kind of stack those up. And one of the things that I highlighted in my story today at The Athletic about this season that just kind of went wrong from the start is, we're sitting in San Antonio. And this is after Giannis has come back December 27th. They've won some games. Things are going well. Then they go to Denver. They lose by 4. Giannis says after the game, why does the lead keep disappearing when I go to the bench? And why does the deficit keep ballooning while I'm on the bench? What's going on? Why does this keep happening over and over again? The Bucs come home. That's after a 4-game road trip. And they play Minnesota. They get throttled by the Timberwolves. It's a 35-point loss. It's terrible. That is the night that Bucs fans boo and Giannis boos right back. And then you go to the next game. It's in San Antonio. By the time Giannis leaves the game with 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter, they're down 35. So this is back-to-back games that they've been losing by 35. It only ends up being an 18-point loss, but it's bad. And in the locker room after the game, I put it in my story. One of the players goes to me and goes, something's going to change. If you're trying to be a playoff team and you lose 2 games like that, something's going to change. And I guess the greater context around that is, okay, 17-24, midway point of the season, you could still save the season and get it to a spot if you make some sort of change. That could be a roster change, that could be a coaching change, whatever it might be. You could have made a change, and you had a weird scheduling quirk where there's 3 days off, so you're going to have 2 practice days in Atlanta. So you can do a mini training camp in Atlanta, just you. No one else around. Everyone can be focused on this training camp in Atlanta before you take on the Hawks. And maybe get a little momentum going into the All-Star break. And we show up in Atlanta, and nothing has changed. There's not anything different about the team. There's not anything different about the coaching staff. And at that point, you just wonder yourself, what are we doing here? right? Like, we can all see where this is heading. We can all see the direction that this is heading. The trade deadline's a couple weeks away yet, and the trade deadline approaches. We've been in Giannis rumors all year long. They're going to come back up. So how do you go in a different direction? This season is spiraling towards the lottery, and there was just no change. And overwhelmingly this season, to me, it was you kept thinking something's got to change, and nothing changed. And it just kept happening over and over again. And now you're in a spot at 32-50. As Giannis said, that's the second fewest wins he's ever had in a season in his professional career last night after the game. And to quote Giannis, they were very bad. And that's not a spot you want to be heading into what could be the biggest offseason in the history of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Did Doc Rivers step down because he wanted to or because he had to?
I think there's some of both. I think, as that quote from Doc the other night that you guys just played kind of hinted at, like, I think he knew that he came up short in these 2.5 years, that he wanted this to go a certain way. As you mentioned, the grand homecoming being back here, his name hangs up in the rafters at Fiserv Forum. I think this had the chance to be, a great story. And the first 2 years, they're succumb by injuries in the playoffs 2 years in a row. No Giannis, no Dame. And then this year, it's just not going right. And I think with the expectations, I think the organization was ready to move on. And also, I think it's just a hard job. It's just a hard job. And as Doc said, you're at 40-plus years in the NBA between his playing career, his coaching career, and his broadcasting career. So I think 43 seasons in the NBA. He is getting up there. He's got grandkids. And, as he joked about pregame last night, when some of the guys that I coached now have kids in the league, that means I've been here for a long, long time. And I think the thing that went unsaid was maybe too long, right? Like maybe it was one job too many. And Doc was already in a spot where he had taken a break. When the Bucks started to have him consult for Adrian Griffin and then eventually hired him, he was working on ESPN. With Mike Breen, who's a very good friend of his. I think life was pretty good.
Yeah,
for
I
Doc.
imagine.
And then he came back and went to coach again to try to win another championship, and it didn't work out. So I would say it was a little bit of both. I think the Bucks were going to be in a position where they needed to consider forcing him out, whether that be firing him. And I think for Doc, it's a grind, and it wasn't going well. So why keep doing it?
Somebody's going to be the bad cop in all this with Giannis, but I do want to ask about the 10 minutes you spent with Giannis and wrote about in The Athletic. Check out Eric's work in The Athletic. Nobody has more access to Giannis than Eric. When you asked him if he's played his last game as a member of the Bucks, he told you, quote, "I don't know. It's not up to me. We'll see." Is it up to him?
So how I followed up that question was, do you feel like you still have control? And I think one of the things that so often in the state of Wisconsin, right? If you're a Bucks fan, you're probably a Packers fan, right? You went through it with Brett Favre. You went through the drama with Aaron Rodgers. And I think one thing that I've seen from Bucks fans is, nope, I'm going to wash my hands with this. I'm done. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to play the drama game. I don't want to do any of it. And I think one thing that has kind of shocked me is to see so many Bucks fans just be ready for it. Like, you know what? It's over. It's fine. He can go somewhere else. Let's trade him and move on. And that's been kind of shocking to me, because I think if the team continues to contend and goes out this summer, they're going to have 3 tradable first-round picks. They're going to have some cap space to sign some more players. They could put together a roster that could contend. And over the years, Giannis has overwhelmingly said, if I can contend, I'm happy to sign another extension. And he can't sign until October 1st. And why I would say that he's no longer in control and it's not up to him is because to get to October 1st, you got to go through the whole offseason. You got to go through an NBA draft. You got to go through free agency. And you got to figure out what you're going to do with your assets.
It feels like a false deadline.
As an organization. Right. And obviously Wes Edens spoke to Ramona Shelburne at ESPN a few months ago, or about a month ago, and said, it kind of built an ultimatum. Either he signs the extension or we trade him. There's no other way around it. And while I think that's a fun framing for ownership, I would say, well, are you going to get serious about winning or are you going to trade him? Because those are the two options as an organization. Doc Rivers has brought up a couple times in the last week. They're 26th in spending this year as far as team salary goes, 26th. And they needed to do that to get out of the second apron and get rid of some of the restrictions. But they're going to have a chance to be much higher than that next season. So are they going to do it? They also are going to have a top 10. Well, they should have a top 10 pick. They're going to have a lottery pick. This is a loaded NBA draft. Are you going to draft a 19-year-old, or are you going to trade that pick to get a real player that can help Giannis next season? Then you're going to have two more picks, 31 and 33, or 2031, 2033, first-round picks. Are you going to trade those picks, or are you going to, it's something that we hear with the Brewers, try to build a sustainable type of success? Okay, so if you hold on to those picks, the team's not going to be as good. So while it's nice to say, I think from the ownership perspective that either Giannis is going to sign this extension or we're going to trade him, I would say it's up to you. Like, what do you want to keep doing moving forward? Overwhelmingly, since I've covered the team, this is year 8 of me at The Athletic. John Horst has gone all in, all in, all in, all in. They keep trading draft picks to contend with Giannis. And they did it longer than anybody else. 7 years in the NBA is a lifetime to contend. They did it, and they won a championship. They took a year off. What does next year hold? Are you going to go back for more? Do you believe that this is worthwhile in Giannis's 32, 33, 34, and 35-year-old seasons? Or do you think we're not really sure that this is what we want to do? We don't know how he's going to age. Maybe let's trade him and let's go down a different path. And that, to me, is the entirety of the summer. And I think a lot of Bucks fans believe Giannis is still in control. And I would point to the final 15 games of this season and say, if you think Giannis is in control and not playing...
He wanted to play, and he wasn't out there.
Sure did.
I don't think he's in control anymore. So that means the organization's in control, and they're going to get to dictate this thing.
When you were talking about being surprised about fans wanting to wash their hands, I agree with you on that because I am not in that camp. I mean, I remember growing up and watching the Bucks and even moving back to Milwaukee and people being like, do you guys want to give away Bucks tickets? And I was like, heck yeah, we do. And they're like, really? They're bad. I'm like, yes. You know how many people would love to go to a Bucks game? I mean, I was watching games when they were terrible. And I love the fact that we still have an opportunity, as long as he's in the game, to watch Giannis. So I am not in that camp saying I want to wash my hands of him, but I do see a growing chorus of that. If we think about it, though, if we don't have Giannis next year, and now we're going to have a new coach, the Milwaukee Bucks could have a completely new identity next season.
Yeah, and you don't know where that identity goes.
Yeah.
I would say overwhelmingly, I know there are critics out there that say Giannis will age poorly because the injuries keep building up and all that stuff. I think this is one of the all-time greats, and overwhelmingly all-time greats defy what you normally see as the aging curve. Their primes are longer, their careers are longer, and I think Giannis can do that. If you trade Giannis, you don't know where you're going to go. This is similar to the summer of 2023 to me, where you had Mike Budenholzer, and Bud had, made enough decisions, been rude enough to enough people that everyone was sick of it. All right, we got to move on from Bud. But what you knew every year from Bud was you're going to be well organized, you're going to be good on defense, and he's going to have a good plan on offense. And it might be boring, it might be a system that, didn't have a ton of flexibility, but you knew what you were going to get. If you trade Giannis, who knows what's coming?
A lot of people still saying, why did we get rid of Bud?
Yeah, and again, I thought Bud had run his course. I thought it was time, but you can see the chaos. When you get rid of a known quantity, Bud was a known quantity, Giannis is a known quantity. When you get rid of it, you are opening up all of the possibilities. And I think that can be a scary thing when you got to fill a building every night and you got to try to attempt to contend in one of the NBA's smallest markets.
Very, very quickly before we let you go here, could you provide 3 names? Who's on the short list? Who's looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to think about people that John Horst already knows, right? So you're immediately going to think of someone like Taylor Jenkins, right?
Former assistant.
He was an assistant on Bud's staff in 2019. You go even further back, Sean Sweeney, assistant for Jason Kidd. I would say Sean Sweeney, we're going to have a story coming out at The Athletic about assistant coaches who could be great first-time head coaches. That happened this year in Phoenix with Jordan Ott. Sean Sweeney's the guy that everyone points to of this is the guy that hasn't done it before that is destined to be a great NBA head coach. So I'll just go with those two. Those two you have the connections to Milwaukee. They've already been here. They have already dealt with Giannis. They've already talked to Giannis. They have conversations with John Horst, and maybe they could be good fits if you're looking for a new head coach.
Always great stuff from Eric Name. Read his work in The Athletic, covers the Bucks all season long, and a very interesting offseason is on tap here. Eric, we appreciate your time.
Eric.
Thank you so much.
Of course, thanks for having me.
12:54.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, no game today, but if you're catching a Brewers game really at any time this year, Potawatomi Sportsbook can get you there. Make any purchase in the sportsbook or a same-day sports bet, and you'll get a wristband and a seat on the shuttle. Got to have that wristband to get on the shuttle departing from Potawatomi. Wristbands are not required on the return shuttle. However, seating limited, first come, first serve. Shuttle pickups and drop-offs will be at the annex right next to the sportsbook. They begin departing Pato about 1 hour before the game. Return shuttles begin in top of the seventh inning and run until about an hour after the game. What a great service from Potawatomi and Potawatomi Sportsbook. Become a legend.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross? $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Penny Mustard presents single-seat mini sofas.
Those are not single-seat sofas.
They're plush. They have fabric, and you sit on them. So what are they?
Penny Mustard's new line of upholstered dining chairs.
Aren't they gorgeous?
These unique chairs take your dining experience to a whole new level.
The finest dining chairs masquerading as single-seat mini sofas you'll ever see.
The new upholstered dining chair collection, starting at $9.16 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Jason, I've scrubbed the baseboards, organized the spice rack, and color-coded my socks. I'm pretty much unstoppable.
You missed the drain, Tracy. Your hairball has it moving slower than a snail on a Sunday. It's practically glacial. It's...
Okay, I get it. Don't let a clog ruin the spring clean. For just $49, Capital Heating, Cooling, Electric, and Plumbing will get the pipes as fresh as the breeze.
Leave slow and steady to the turtles. We'll take the fast and flowing.
Call CapitalCares.com.
TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson will join us coming up in about 35 minutes or so. We're keeping an eye on some storms that could pop up again. Boy, it rained pretty hard at times throughout the weekend, especially yesterday. We were out at a soccer tournament out in the Dells, and it just got obliterated with rain. So they called it early because there was some lightning in the area, and it kind of followed us home, as a matter of fact. So these could pop up again here tonight. A lot of rain in the forecast here with this warm air. It could pop up some storms, too, so be mindful of that.
Yeah, prepare for an active weather week, and we'll have much more on that coming up at 1 o'clock.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted door or opener, don't let it worry you. Don't let it bother you at all. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, Geis can get you back up and running with doors and openers for every budget. They'll even go custom for you. They got a beautiful custom design center in their showroom in Brookfield. It's right off Barker Road. Wonderful people, incredible inventory. and your go-to solution experts. It's Geis. Visit GeisDoors.com and don't think twice. Call Geis.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It is time again for the Monday Makeover. Back in one of my happy places, Merle Norman MN Salon and Spa in Brookfield, and I am with the owner, Renee. How are you?
I am great. How are you today?
Well, I'm happy because this is such a great place, whether I need my brows done or get a Milbon hair treatment, but particularly, Merle Norman is known for skincare.
Yes. April is Rosacea Awareness Month. Rosacea is inflammation of the skin. It's kind of part of the autoimmune system, and it shows up as red bumps, broken capillaries, and in an extreme form will almost look like acne. In an extreme case, you would want to see a dermatologist.
Someone comes to you and says, I have found out I have rosacea. How can you help me and my skin look better?
The first thing we're going to do is we're not going to overtreat it. So we're going to start with a really gentle cleanser, something that can be rinsed off really easily or even tissued off if the skin is drier. And then we're going to make sure we have a toner that is alcohol-free and then has soothing ingredients like chamomile and aloe and sunflower oil and things that are really going to calm the skin down. Our Gentle Solutions line is free from all those known irritants, but it has ingredients in that help to repair sensitivity of the skin. It helps to repair the DNA damage done to our skin by the environment and to really calm the skin down. One of our newest products is called Red Correct Primer. It took us about 3 years to come out with that product, but it is hands down the best red color corrector I've worked with in the 45 years I've been a makeup artist. I even have men who have rosacea that use this as a treatment. And we also have a really great facial in our spa room that's just for rosacea. People come in with, red skin, and then they come out of the spa room and their skin is not as red. So it's very, very effective.
Call Merle Norman or book online at mnsalonbrookfield.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, April 13th. Your top story, bringing his own bat to a fight in Franklin.
I'm Jessica Ty. Could charges be coming in the case of a woman missing in the Bahamas?
Partly cloudy, warm today. Chance of afternoon and evening storms, high 74. Tonight, a low of 60. 76 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee, approaching 102 from the WTMJ and Breaking Newsroom. A man is in custody after arming himself with a baseball bat at a youth sporting event in Franklin.
Franklin police initially responded to reports of gunshots being fired at the Midwest Orthopedic Performance Center around 2:45 Sunday afternoon. It turned out that several people in the crowd got into a fight, and there is no evidence that any gun was fired. Police arrested a 36-year-old man from Illinois on recommended charges of recklessly endangering safety for allegedly arming himself with a baseball bat. One person was treated at the scene for minor injuries. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
With summer approaching, concerns are now growing about police coverage across Milwaukee.
As more officers are sent downtown to patrol areas like Water Street, questions remain about coverage in other neighborhoods.
Putting focus on our entertainment district downtown. Movement of officers around the city is what we do consistently. Are we in the greatest place in regards to our recruitment? No.
Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman tells WTMJ.
We need officers. We're looking for great men and women out here to reflect what our community needs in regards to great sworn officers doing the work for our community.
Chief Norman says they'll continue to balance resources citywide as overall crime is down 8%. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Well, we could learn today if the man arrested in connection with his wife's disappearance in the Bahamas will face charges. Brian Hooker arrested last week after his wife Lynette went missing after allegedly falling overboard from their boat. CBS's Christian Benavides has more from Freeport, the Bahamas.
Social media videos and photos posted by Lynette and Brian Hooker in 2024 show the couple happily living and sailing together. But just weeks earlier, Lynette told a friend their marriage was over in messages obtained exclusively by CBS News. In late 2024, Lynette told Marnie Stevenson, a fellow boater, "I guess it was just too much closeness. We decided to call it quits." When pressed if the two could reconcile, Lynette told her friend, "Not this time."
Hooker posted on his Facebook page that unpredictable seas and high winds caused his wife Lynette to fall from their boat.
For the second time in 2 days, a security scare at the home of billionaire artificial intelligence CEO Sam Altman. It happened in San Francisco around 2 a.m. Sunday. Police say someone fired a gun from a car hitting the home of the OpenAI CEO. Police arrested 2 people who they say had multiple guns. ABC's Sophie Flay.
Amid growing concern for uncertainty over how artificial intelligence could transform the economy, Altman posted a photo of his husband and baby writing, "I believe technological progress can make the future unbelievably good for your family and mine. While we have that debate, we should de-escalate the rhetoric and tactics and try to have fewer explosions in fewer homes, figuratively and literally."
Just 2 days earlier, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at Altman's home. The suspect in that case was arrested at the company's headquarters, allegedly threatening to burn down the building.
And the city of Oconomowoc Plan Commission is recommending approval of a revised plan from Marcus Corporation for a theater complex at Pabst Farms, a giant theater along with space for restaurants and businesses. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, the project still needs final approval from the Oconomowoc Common Council. It's expected to take up the plan at a public hearing April 21st. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All sorts of green today. Modest gains for the Dow, up about 35 points at 47,950. Good day for the NASDAQ, up about 160 points at 23,061. And the S&P is up about 30 at 6848. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, we're less than a month away from fishing season. We talked to Aaron Schiller from the Wisconsin DNR, and our storyteller in residence, Dusty Weiss, joins us all fishing, except for the bikes. They're coming. It's spring.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
I didn't want my kids spending their weekends fixing my gutters or worrying if I was okay. Hi, this is Arvid. At Capri Communities, I have new friends, fun activities, and a safe, maintenance-free home. My children get peace of mind, and I get to enjoy life to the fullest. It's the best gift I could give them and myself.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Have you ever thought to yourself, I want my house to look better than it does. I just don't know where to even start or even what to do. Tri-County Contracting can help you with that. They can help you love your home again. They have the design consultants, they've got the showroom, they've got real picture renderings, they've got it all to help turn your home back into your dream home. Tri-County Contracting, WDI.com. Love your home again with Tri-County Contracting.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. May not be good news here for Brewers outfielder and designated hitter Christian Yelich. He suffered a hamstring injury during yesterday's loss to the Nationals, Milwaukee's 5th straight defeat.
Every team's going to go through this, and it hurts like crazy, but I still like the team. We're most likely going to get some bad news on Yelich to further put us down, if you want to.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy. The homestand continues Tuesday night against the Toronto Blue Jays. And after 3 seasons with the Bucks, head coach Doc Rivers is stepping down. Milwaukee finished with a record of 32-50. Next up, the NBA Draft Lottery, which for the Bucks will be May the 10th, one of a handful of teams that will be a lottery team during this year's draft.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still dealing with one broken down vehicle on I-43 North at 4394 North. Right lane is blocked because of that one. No crashes. We love that, especially on a Monday. I am seeing more delays on 94 around the ballpark in our construction zone. Earlier, we were just seeing the eastbound delays headed into the city right after the ballpark. Still seeing that, but now those westbound delays are beginning as well. It won't take you too long, but it's definitely slow going right there around American Family Field. Once you get past Hawley, you're good to go.
I'll keep an eye on the weather here, especially late afternoon, right around the time of your evening commute. You could see some storms popping up here. It's not a big line moving our direction, but the conditions are ripe for thunderstorms to pop up. So be careful if you're out on the roads. Get those lights on if it starts falling from the skies. Your high, 76 degrees today, overnight low 60. Rain back in the forecast on Tuesday with a high of 75. It's currently 76 in Milwaukee at 110.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Could be a couple of rounds of storms tonight. Lauren Larson joins us in about 25 minutes. We'll get a better sense of timing. Rain, a big deal here this week in the forecast after a soggy conclusion to the weekend.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, severe weather is moving across the country right now, and it will impact Wisconsin. Be prepared for an active weather week. Storms that have been impacting the Pacific states are moving into the Midwest and interacting with some Gulf moisture. That means a multi-day severe weather outbreak starting today. ABC meteorologist Jeff Smith.
Strong tornadoes a possibility, very large hail and torrential rain. Places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, all the way over to Wausau, Wisconsin by later on this afternoon.
Several rounds of showers and storms bring us a chance for severe weather and flooding. The greatest risk for severe weather tonight is in central and north central Wisconsin. But then take note on tomorrow. Widespread severe thunderstorms are likely across all of southern Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. All types of severe weather are possible. And we could also see storms on Wednesday if the front lingers.
Number 2, day 45 of the war with Iran, a fragile ceasefire now threatened by President Trump's threat to blockade the Strait of Hormuz. Talks with Iran moderated by Pakistan in Islamabad over the weekend, led by Vice President J.D. Vance, ending without agreements on key points. ABC News correspondent Alex Prescia.
Iran wouldn't commit to not pursuing a nuclear weapon. We know that we were asking for the removal of Iran's enriched uranium supply, but it appears that they have not given up, or at least conceded, these ambitions for creating a nuclear weapon at some point down the line. Now, for the Iranians, it was different. They said that they just didn't feel like they could trust the U.S., and we knew that was a concern for both sides going into this.
So the blockade applies to all maritime traffic entering or exiting Iranian ports and coastal areas, including those in the Arabian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. President Trump warned that any Iranian fast attack ships approaching the blockade will be, quote, immediately eliminated.
Number 3, learning from the Artemis II crew. Today, NASA's administrator touted a very successful mission. The astronauts who journeyed around the moon and back brought back photos, data, and other types of information that NASA says will be helpful in future Artemis missions.
On a technical level, we learned all about the ecosystem, the life support system on that vehicle that kept the astronauts alive on their journey 250,000 miles away from Earth. We learned about software updates. There's going to be procedural changes. I mean, this is why we fly.
Did you watch it Friday night?
It was interesting because I was at the Brewers game, and they showed on the Jumbotron.
Oh, they did.
They showed
I love that.
It was already splashed down, and they didn't show the whole thing, but it was down there, and it was like a roar of applause from people at American Family Field. I know they put it up at the Jumbotron at Pfizer Forum as well. What an amazing moment.
Oh my gosh. I went home and I made sure, I was like, okay, cooking some dinner here. My husband was coming home from work in a little bit, and I was just glued.
So cool.
And it's just, it's fascinating to me too, how remember that day, earlier that day, right here at Midday, we said it is scheduled to splash down at 7:07 our time. It splashed down at 7:07. And actually, it was getting real quick to 7:08, but still, that would have been impressive. It's just unbelievable. And then I was just glued to it afterwards, too, because even once it splashed down and it kind of made its way back to our area, right, back down to Earth, that was one thing. But you still wanted to see the hatch open, and you wanted to see the astronauts come out and know that they were healthy and they were doing okay, and it's unbelievable to me. You know what else was unbelievable to me? How many people I had on social media who were saying, yeah, those pictures are fake. That's not real. It didn't happen. Still a lot of people out there with those thoughts.
All their stuff from space? They don't believe it's real?
But even the splashdown. I posted as soon as it happened because it's just one of those moments. It makes you proud, right? It's a moment in history, and it was really neat to witness. There was actually one guy who was like, it doesn't happen until whatever time. But it was like, sir, this is Central Time, and it happened. But there are a lot of people who still don't believe it happened.
That's bizarre to me. That is bizarre. It's 1:15 on WTMJ. Coming up next. So you say you want to start a family, huh? It'll cost you.
In 2027, the world's most captivating stories come to life with Fox Group Vacations and Insight Vacations. From the refined charm of France and the Greek islands to the historic warmth of southern Italy and the mysteries of Dracula's castle in Romania, our journeys go beyond the postcard. Enjoy the premium comfort, curated dining, and authentic local connections alongside a community of friends. Elevate your 2027 travel plans. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book today.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. It was a Palermo's night in our house last night. We were chasing around all over the place with soccer over the weekend. Made it easy and delicious with a screaming Sicilian in the oven for about 20 minutes on the dinner table. We were all happy last night. What a great way to finish the weekend. It's a lunch idea. It's a dinner idea. It's a solution. Any way you put it with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Got some great deals going on right now. In fact, you can take advantage of a wonderful deal right now. How about this? Buy one, get one for Palermo's. Primo Thin through April 14th at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. Through April 14th, a buy one, get one on Primo Thin, made by Palermo's. A slice for every appetite and Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
It's April, and if you're one of the over 700,000 people getting your annual Wisconsin Retirement System statement, Annex has something for you. If you have questions about your statement or how your WRS account should work with your overall retirement plan, join our planning and WRS experts on April 23rd for Understand Your WRS Pension Potential, a webinar hosted by Annex Wealth Management's Director of Financial Planning, Eric Strom. We'll walk through your statement, field any questions you have. That's Thursday, April 23rd at 1 in the afternoon. Register at events.annexwealth.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Chance of some storms later on this afternoon and evening. Could fire up around 4 o'clock or so. Be cautious if you're on the ride home. This stuff starts falling. Warm temps, though. Today, a high of 76, overnight low 60. Tomorrow's high, 75 degrees. Similar forecast with rain in the forecast. It's currently 76 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 118. Well, staggering numbers here. Raising a child will cost you about $300,000, according to estimates pulled together by Lending Tree. $300,000. Better only have three then. If that number is staggering to you, maybe you break it down a little bit. $16,587 per year until they reach adulthood. That is interesting, though, because the analysts Well, they end their analysis when a child turns 18. So this does not include the cost of college.
That is huge. I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah. If you are sending a kid off to college, that is a whole nother kit and caboodle, and that is not allotted in this more than $300,000 total for 2026.
Now, it's an average total, right? So not everybody's paying that much, but the calculation that Lending Tree applied is based upon typical expenses for a couple earning the U.S. median family income, which is about $100,000 per year, while also accounting for some offsets and tax incentives and so on and so forth. You think about everything, right? Infant stages, daycare, diapers, all that kind of stuff. Daycare in the summer when you're at work and so on. Anything you can throw into this, it fits up into the point where they get to college. Before we get to Bill Dendy, who's the president of Alicorn Investment Management, Inc., he'll let us know how we make this all work in 2026. The most expensive states to raise a child are, in order, Hawaii, which is over $400,000 per kid, Alaska, Maryland, California, and New Jersey. Wisconsin, kind of middle of the pack at $253,000. On the other end of the spectrum is New Hampshire, for whatever reason, at $202,000. Bill Dendy joining us on the line right now, president of Alicorn Investment Management, Inc. A lot of dizzying numbers there. Bill, how do you make this more palatable, that $300K mark? Well, that's staggering.
I know it. That's give you a sticker shock. In fact, if they told that to us earlier in life, might have paid more attention during health class and all that stuff. Because, man, if you waited till you knew you had the money to have children, I don't think most of us would be having children. I mean, it's outrageous when you consider $300,000 per child, and if you include college, that could be $500,000 per child. I think that the study does put it into perspective that it is a challenge a lot of people just accept without considering the financial repercussions of it. It does explain why some people have a more difficult time getting themselves prepared for retirement and other life's milestones, because the cost of raising children can get in the way of it. And, you know, children, I've had people say, well, I'm investing in groceries, I'm investing in my kids. And I don't see that as an investment. I mean, they don't sell for much in the secondary market. You don't get a big return all the time on the kids. We're doing it out of love. We're doing it for other reasons. So the key is to make sure that we can optimize our overall strategy to pay as little as necessary as possible, take advantage of the free money, and don't leave money on the table.
So, Bill, we have fans listening all over the state of Wisconsin, different demos. In fact, as we stream, we have people listening all over the country. So you have people in different spots in their lives, but for parents right now who are about to have a child, what are the 3 must-dos to make sure you start off on good financial footing and also get your kids ready for the future?
I like that. And you don't view this as a $300,000 bill due today. It's an 18-year cash flow. And many of these costs, like food and clothing, are incremental, and they shift as the child grows. Like the daycare costs, eventually maybe trade off for maybe sports or extracurriculars or other expenses, but you can manage these major costs. The housing, the child care and transportation. Child care, there are opportunities to pay for child care with pre-tax dollars, and to know that there will be this out-of-pocket expense. I've seen a lot of people build budgets with 2 incomes with the idea that we're going to have children down the road, but they forget the additional cost of providing daycare. And after 2 or 3 children, the daycare costs as much as what that second salary net of taxes may be bringing in. So maybe some considerations of what makes the most sense, or doing co-oping programs. And then to make sure the family is cared for. I talk to a lot of families that they're okay as long as dad's still there working, or mom and dad are working together, or they've got the daycare worked in. But if either one of them should have a disability or pass away along the way, they're not carrying the life insurance or disability insurances to make sure the children are cared for. And that is one of the big other concerns that early in life we learn about, but we oftentimes don't know how much we need. We talk to salespeople who represent these things, and maybe not necessarily a counselor. And so getting proper financial counseling can go a long way if you don't feel comfortable doing this yourself. Talking to that certified financial planner or the CPAs who are skilled in this area, and then turn to the insurance agents and to the employee benefits folder to see what's available to us that might make sense in our particular situation. Could go a long way to making that $300,000 a cash flow that's palatable and doable. And heck, We can have a dozen kids if we want. We just have to plan for it.
So, Bill, what were the main drivers of increased child rearing costs over the last year or so? Because we have seen about a 2% increase to this figure that we're talking about.
Yes, and some of the big increases were very specific to areas that folks lived in. You mentioned the top most expensive states, and then we got the lower states. And Wisconsin is kind of in the middle. We're like number 20, 25, somewhere in that range. And the big cost drivers that increased the most over the past few years have been the cost of daycare. It seems like anytime you're employing people, because of inflation, the cost that we're having to pay people who are working for us has gone up. So the daycare cost has gone up quite a bit. And then the cost of getting that extra bedroom. If we have the child, we need to now expand the housing, and we're renting. Adding the extra bedroom is about an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month, depending on the area in which people are done. And state by state is not even as good as city by city. It costs a whole lot more to be in the downtown metro areas versus the more suburban or even rural areas when you want to add those extra bedrooms. And so state by state still doesn't even tell the whole story. But again, in Wisconsin, we are kind of blessed that outside of the big cities, we haven't had as much of an increase in cost of adding that extra bedroom.
Bill, if you plan on having more than one kid, how should you adjust the projections? Does doubling that 18-year cost situation make sense, or can there be some shared expenses?
There are definitely going to be some shared expenses like transportation expense, and they account for transporting child from home to daycare, from daycare to school and back. That is shared. Adding the extra room, it does incrementally jump up for the first extra room, but after the second or third, or if you go to smaller size bedrooms, or like me and my brother growing up, we had our room together, and our sister had her own separate room. The bulking up in that type of situation can lower the cost based on this particular study. So they aren't necessarily going to be as expensive after the first child or second child, but can be depending on how you do your life. And keep in mind, this study was done based upon $100,000 annual income for middle America for renters. It's quite a bit different if you have purchased a 3-bedroom home that you are owning and the mortgage is staying the same, but as a percentage of your income, it's a lower and lower percent because the mortgage is fixed. Although property taxes and insurance might go up, you have more of a fixed cost and not as much of an incremental cost per child.
Bill Denny, president of Alicord Investment Management, Inc. Great information, Bill. Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Bill.
God bless you.
Hand-me-downs. That's the official term here, hand-me-downs. My brother's 5 years older than me, so hand-me-downs didn't work as well in our family. Our daughters are about 18 months apart. Oh, yeah, hand-me-downs. As much as our youngest doesn't want the hand-me-downs are coming from older sister.
But honestly, doesn't that make you feel good, too, as a parent sometimes? Because they grow out of these clothes so quickly, depending on the age, that it's like, thank goodness. Thank goodness we can use them again.
So some of those shared costs, yes, we definitely try and be efficient if possible. It's 1:27, news coming up.
Big refund, big project, big savings at Menards. Turn your tax refund into your next big project. It's easy to create your dream kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry, offering a selection of finishes made with the finest materials. Clearview Cabinetry offers features like soft closed doors and drawers and cabinet accessories to match your unique style. Save big money on Clearview cabinets and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Well, if you've been hurt in an accident, the folks at Gruber Law Offices are there for you. In fact, they've been there for those in southeastern Wisconsin in need for 40 years, giving back to the community, winning your case. It's what they do at Gruber as one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. Greg Matzek here. If you've been hurt in an accident, just make the call to Gruber, get in touch with their incredible team, and let them take it from there. You focus on healing, let them focus on the legal aspect. They do get results that speak for themselves with a powerful team, large team. Family values, but 30-plus attorneys that'll work for you. Check them out online at gruber-law.com. Learn about the firm, how they can help you if you've been hurt in an accident, in addition to what they do in the community. They are always finding ways to give back with Gruber. 414-276-6666.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Ever more.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $14.98 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy 1 dinner, get 1 free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox & Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer and allows my dogs, husband, and me to enjoy our patio every season. Comfort Awnings is now offering their biggest promo ever. Get up to $1,000 off any awning or screen. That's right, start spring off right and get 10% off up to $1,000 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, a tragic accident for kids from the same family.
I'm Jessica Ty. Affordable housing coming to Oak Creek.
Partly cloudy, warm today. Chance of storms tonight and a high of 76 degrees.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Lawmakers back from holiday break and returning to take up an ethics probe into Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell, who is facing sexual assault allegations. He has suspended his campaign for the California governor's race.
In a brief statement, the bipartisan leadership of the House Ethics Committee says the panel has begun an investigation into the California Democrat regarding allegations of sexual misconduct. One woman who once worked for Eric Swalwell told the San Francisco Chronicle he sexually assaulted her when she was too intoxicated to consent, once in 2019 and again in 2024. Swalwell has fiercely denied the claim. Other women have said Swalwell sent them inappropriate text messages and lewd photos.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The fragile ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. appearing to hold despite talks breaking down. President Trump also imposed a U.S. blockade on ships traveling to and from Iranian ports, saying Iran is trying to blackmail ships. On Wall Street, stocks are up this hour. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. A toddler is dead after being shot by their sibling in Fond du Lac County.
It happened late Friday morning inside a vehicle parked in a driveway. The sheriff's office says a parent placed their 3 young children inside the car, then briefly went back inside the home to grab something they forgot. It was during that time that a 4-year-old found a loaded gun in the center console. The gun discharged and struck the 2-year-old. The child died at the scene. No one else was injured, and the sheriff's office says the family involved is cooperating. It's unclear if any criminal charges will be filed. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Public Schools, the state's largest school district, plans to add nearly 90 new teaching positions next school year. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius on Wisconsin's Morning News.
And made a determination that we were going to protect our student services, protect direct services to our children, particularly students who are most vulnerable, like our students with special needs. And also really manage class size across the district because that's what our parents expect.
The move comes as the district works to close a $46 million budget gap. While protecting classroom resources, Casellia says cuts to other areas are necessary to help close the budget deficit. District officials are expected to present a final budget plan next month.
Oak Creek is giving the green light to a new affordable housing subdivision, a first in a Milwaukee County suburb. The federally funded project will develop up to 50 new homes on county-owned land near Highway 32. Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley.
This is a big deal that was years in the making. This first-of-its-kind development represents the continuation of our work to help more families become homeowners.
The homes will be priced between $200,000 and $250,000. Construction is expected to begin early next year.
A proposal to limit hours for food trucks in Milwaukee's downtown entertainment district is moving forward.
At Friday's Public Safety and Health Committee meeting, Alderman Bob Bauman proposed a plan to shut down food trucks on Water Street earlier, hoping to cut down on late-night disorder.
So this file basically amends the food truck prohibition from what is currently 1 a.m. to a 10 p.m. prohibition.
But not everyone agrees. Alderman Mark Chambers.
A good amount of officers that come from our neighborhoods go down to downtown every weekend to protect the entertainment district. If we restrict those opportunities for them to go get food or anything, guess where they're coming back? Into our neighborhoods where those officers are going.
The ordinance passed committee on a 4-1 vote and now heads to the full Common Council. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee's manufacturing industry is playing a key role in space exploration. A local company is helping power missions like NASA's Artemis program. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons tells WTMJ.
Forged Products has had a long history with the space program. So they basically make jet engine sort of things. When you think about all the pressures, we see all the pictures of a spacecraft launching and the amount of forces that are at play there. So basically they have a process that they can make this incredibly hard steel, which is necessary for the space program.
The company has about 80 employees dedicated to space-related manufacturing.
Big changes for the Milwaukee Bucks. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
What's happening in Metro right now?
Whoa, your low talking reminds me of way too low pricing at Hasselus Mattress.
Are they really low?
How low? Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $293.
Do you have availability in your showroom?
If you're inquiring about a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, employee-free showrooms, and free next-day delivery, the answer is yes.
Holy cow!
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers awaiting the results of an MRI on the hamstring of Christian Yelich as the team drops 5 straight, including a recent sweep to the hands of the Washington Nationals. No game for the Brewers today. The Toronto Blue Jays visit Milwaukee for a 3-game series beginning Tuesday night. The Bucks part ways with head coach Doc Rivers, who is stepping down after a 32-50 season.
You know, when I was brought here, 2.5 years ago, I was brought in here to take the team to the next level, and that just never happened, never materialized. Doesn't matter the why.
Next up for the Bucks in the offseason is a date with the draft lottery on May 10th.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We do have a new broken down vehicle. This one on 4145 South, very close to the ramp from Good Hope Row. Right shoulder is blocked because of that one. Other than that, for the most part, we're doing pretty good for a Monday. We do have a couple of other disabled vehicles in the system, but they're not causing any problems. No crashes to report. We love that. Yes, we do have the delays in our construction zones. However, I see delays around American Family Field, both eastbound and westbound today. In fact, it looks like the westbound lanes are getting even slower than they were. But once you get past Holly, headed westbound, you're good to go. American Family Field, 94 eastbound, headed into the city. Once you pass the ballpark, it's just slow going for a little bit. Once you hit 27th Street, you will be in the clear. Also, I do note that 4145 in our construction zone near the Mayfair area, that's getting a little bit slower than it was, about an hour ago.
Oh, summer-like feeling outside, kind of a tropical sense to today with all the rain in the forecast, the rain from yesterday, temperatures rising, and some instability in the atmosphere. Let's welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. Hi, Lauren.
Yeah, hey guys, I feel like we need to remind ourselves what month it is because it definitely does not feel like April. Like you said, that summer-like feel at the station right now, it says it's 79 degrees outside.
Wow. Yeah, it definitely feels more like summer out there. And also, we have this active weather week that we're preparing for. It's interesting. I'm sure you're watching it, these storms that have been impacting the Pacific states, and now that's all moving to the Midwest. And obviously, that's going to impact us here. What are the first impacts that people can expect in our area?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say start to really keep an eye on the radar around 3:30 or 4 this afternoon. So within the next couple hours, we can expect to start to see some thunderstorm development across southeast Wisconsin. And really that chance for severe weather continues into the evening and overnight before another round kind of sweeps through from the north into early tomorrow morning. So as we have these new model runs come in, they change every time. So we're keeping a close eye, of course, on the updated information, as well as kind of trying to weed out maybe an outlier as far as those model runs. However, that threat for severe weather is here. I would say that starts around 4. And we'll keep you updated with the latest.
So does this system have to develop, Lauren, or are you watching a long line that people might be able to track into our area?
Yeah, good question. Well, as I look at the radar right now, we're already starting to see some strong and severe storms move into Illinois or move through central Illinois right now. Behind that, there are a few pop-up showers and storms. So I don't think you'll notice that on the radar right now, but it is starting to creep closer as far as kind of that instability.
Everything that I was seeing earlier today, looking at NOAA and in the National Weather Service, said pretty much, and I want to see if you can confirm this for us, the greatest risk for severe weather tonight is in central and north central Wisconsin, but it sounded like for southern Wisconsin, it's really going to be even tomorrow. That's a bigger deal. Is that still holding true with what you're seeing? I know you said you're looking at a bunch of models right now, and thank goodness you guys are doing that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. That higher risk, the Storm Prediction Center has that level 3 enhanced risk across western and central Wisconsin, even stretching into central Minnesota. So that's, where it's more likely to see numerous severe storms. We are in the level 2 slight risk here this evening and for the storms overnight tonight. So still very important to stay weather aware, but we're not exactly in that kind of bullseye of the severe weather in those ingredients. Now, tomorrow, that does change. Northeast Wisconsin, northwest Wisconsin is all cleared from the risk for severe weather on Tuesday, whereas we see that enhanced risk then shift to our counties. So as we kind of talk about, the chance for a few or scattered strong to severe storms here this afternoon and evening, we could see numerous severe storms here tomorrow afternoon and evening.
All right. Good stuff, Lauren. We'll be watching. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
77 degrees. It's a little muggy outside. Nice day, though. We'll take it here. Definitely feels a little more summer-like today. 142 on WTMJ. Coming up next, Chris McIntosh stepping away from his role as athletic director at UW and into a role with the Big Ten. What prompted the move? We'll go inside with a man who knows Chris McIntosh very well. Voice of the Badgers, Matt LePage, joins us after this.
It's April, and if you're one of the over 700,000 people getting your annual Wisconsin Retirement System statement, Annex has something for you. If you have questions about your statement or how your WRS account should work with your overall retirement plan, join our planning and WRS experts on April 23rd for Understand Your WRS Pension Potential, a webinar hosted by Annex Wealth Management's Director of Financial Planning, Eric Strom. We'll walk through your statement, field any questions you have. That's Thursday, April 23rd at 1 in the afternoon. Register at events.annexwealth.com.
Hey, take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee, $300,000 on the line during the base race game show. For your chance to win, play with your Potawatomi Rewards card. Get signed up, it's free, and do it at the casino. Prize drawings every Thursday in the month of April, plus all of your base race prize drawing entries will count toward a grand finale prize. That drawing will be in June. For more details, check out Potawatomi.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Everyone needs a plumber in their contacts list, and I've got yours, Vince Vitrano here. It's Horner Plumbing. We had a big job on the Vitrano home, needed to move the water hookups for the washer-dryer and refrigerator, and we turned to the trusted experts for more than 50 years in Southeast Wisconsin, Horner Plumbing. CJ and Kaylee, they did a great job at the house. All the follow-up with Horner was amazing, great work, and outstanding customer service. Residential, commercial, and new construction, HornerPlumbing.com. Have it in your contact list because when it's a plumbing emergency, that is not the time you want to start your search. I've got your plumber. Full-service plumbing, water heater repairs and installs, drain cleaning, garbage disposals, bathroom and kitchen renovations. Full-service plumbing. Free quotes and upfront pricing means no surprises. You want a deal? Tell them Vinny sent you, and Horner Plumbing will knock $50 off that first service. Get started now at Horner Plumbing. That's HornerPlumbing.com.
I've got a big news breaking over the weekend here with UW Athletic Director Chris McIntosh stepping down after 5 years on the job. He's leaving for a role in the Big Ten Conference beginning May 1st, so he is winding up his time here at UW. In fact, the Big Ten has already announced the appointment of McIntosh to a new role as everybody in the world of college athletics tries to get a grasp on this different, very different landscape than anybody is used to. Chris McIntosh did a lot in his 5 years. I know a lot of people point to football and say, well, he didn't turn the football program around. He hired Luke Fickell. To this point, it has not worked.
That's a big part, but it's just one part.
It is a massive part because that is such an economic driver in our state. But you can't overlook 13 conference titles, 4 national championships, right? You've got a 90+% graduation rate. He's also spearheaded a massive capital project, the biggest in UW's history. These are not small accomplishments. In fact, they're big ones. But he's finally beaten down the door of the university to get more resources allocated to the football program and revenue-generating athletics.
There was a need to invest more in football, and that's what we did, and that's what we've been executing. And I think, the progress we've shown and the success we've had in the portal just this last week, is the first step of many that show the progress we're making.
And maybe he's setting up the next AD with a pretty full cabinet. But I would have loved for McIntosh to see the other side of this and see the benefits potentially of all this additional state funding and revenue-generating possibilities. Wanted to welcome in Matt LePay, one of the true great guys, UW Athletic Hall of Famer. We had him on to talk about that on a day that he was announced with Chris McIntosh at center court of a Badgers basketball game. Longtime voice of the Badgers and a close friend of Chris McIntosh is joining us. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I am doing well. Just curious what you make of the situation, if you at all saw it coming, or was this a pretty big surprise to you?
It was a surprise on a Sunday night, right after Rory got his green jacket, that my phone started blowing up. That was not the kind of news I was expecting on a Sunday night in the middle of April. But I do know that Chris has worked pretty closely with Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner. He's worked with him pretty closely over the last couple of years on a lot of the big picture challenges in major college athletics and some of the things specific to football, with the playoff expansion and some ideas about how to handle the end of the season with potential automatic qualifiers for a bigger playoff field, that type of thing, and probably many other things that I don't know a lot about. So I think in the big picture, I'm not surprised that this is part of the path in his career, but I am surprised that it happened on April 12th on a Sunday night right after the Masters.
Matt, you and Chris McIntosh are close. Do you believe this is more about taking on a new challenge versus running away from a challenge?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, we're pretty close, but in all honesty, I haven't talked to him a whole lot here in the last few months. I think if he wanted to run away from the challenge, he would have done that last fall. When the fire fickle chants were out and there were a lot of very spirited discussions. I don't know how many of those discussions were internal, but certainly externally about the direction of the football program. The easy route would have been to have made a change then. He didn't do it. He gave him multiple votes of confidence. He admitted, I think the institution admitted, that it did not provide the resources necessary. So I think in some ways he's got it as much in place as he can, or he/they as a department, for at least this coming year, which is a critical year, obviously, for Wisconsin football. So it could be just one of those deals where you see an avenue, you see an opportunity with the conference office, with a commissioner you really like and you have worked closely with, and thinking maybe the time is right to do that. And maybe he just feels like he's done all he can with his skill set as the AD here and move on to the next job. I think a lot of folks a lot of us are thinking he's running away, but I don't know if we really know that for certain. I just know that the university moving forward, Jessica, it's like that old line, hurry but don't rush. Their middle of April does provide them a decent window to do a thorough search for the next athletics director, but I think there needs to be an urgency to it. Stepping away in the middle of April, that buys you some time, better now than in the middle of August. But to me, you've got to get someone that you're not talking into the job, somebody who really wants it, whoever he or she may be, and someone who has a definitive plan. This is what I want to do. This is how we want to do it. Not unlike when Alvarez came here as the football coach. This is how I'm going to do it for Wisconsin football. This is the people I'm going to do it with. And hopefully this is something they can do in relatively short order.
I looked at McIntosh's new opportunity with the Big Ten, and I thought to myself, maybe he has or is being put on a path to be the ultimate commissioner of the conference, which could certainly happen. I think Chris McIntosh is a wonderfully bright individual. I am also interested in sort of the landscape of college sports, Matt. We've talked about this before. We have seen coaches just step away. Tony Bennett, a man you know very, very well, walking away from Virginia, didn't like where college basketball was heading. And just this sort of, open season to transfer here and transfer there. I know coaches, certainly their movement influences recruits and people who stay on the roster and part of a program. Is there potential negative impact from McIntosh leaving, or is that considered very separate? Because it does paint a picture of, right now, instability with Chancellor Mnuchin leaving and the athletic director leaving.
Yeah, not to mention the system president. You got some high-profile job openings going on over here. So, Greg, Jessica, if you want to get in the mix, feel free. But yeah, I think maybe in some respect too, Greg. Maybe some people are better off being that number two person, or someone who's less in the spotlight. He is a bright guy. He has really good ideas. He sees the way the landscape is changing in college athletics, and maybe you're better off, being the lineman, not the quarterback. There's someone who can present things to Tony Petitti. Who knows? With Chris, he's had various roles in his professional life post football. So maybe this is the best thing for him moving forward. Someone who isn't nearly as much in the limelight right now, and yet works closely with someone he knows, likes, and respects in Tony Petitti. And for Wisconsin, for UW Athletics, to me, you have to look at this as an opportunity. It's like what's done is done. He has stepped away. You wish him all the best. And now you have to look at this as an opportunity to get someone who, in my opinion, it's going to be very important to continue this momentum with providing more resources, certainly for football, but I'm sure other coaches they'll have their hands up, say, hey, over here, we could use a little help here with basketball, with, all the other sports, but someone who can connect with the fans, reconnect with the fans, earn their trust, and hopefully get them back into Camp Randall Stadium and all the other venues, because there have been other things that have happened, some beyond their control, others within the control of athletics, that they have had missteps and they have lost some trust. They have lost some faith. And the minute anger turns to apathy, you've got a problem. I saw that when I first arrived here in the late 80s. People just stopped caring. And then Barry and Pat Richter and Donna Shalala, as the chancellor, they were all aligned, and they got people excited about Badger athletics and specifically Badger football again. Different set of circumstances then, but in some ways the challenges do have some similarities. And this is a state where you want to feel like you are part of the family and not just the multi-million-dollar donor, those who might hit singles and doubles, sports analogy to how much you're contributing to athletics. They need to be viewed as really important. And I think that's an area where they could do a better job, quite frankly.
Matt, you mentioned needing a man or a woman who has a plan and somebody who can connect with fans. I'm curious if you have any names that you think you'd like to throw out there as possible replacements, or if just, on campus, if there are names being thrown out as this person or that person, it'd be a good pick.
Well, isn't Mark Tauscher the people's choice right now with what Evan Cohen was with Evan Cohen yesterday?
You mean this, Matt?
I have one name that I would look at if I was the Badgers. Mark Tauscher.
Hey, if it's a sales job, Tauscher would be awfully good at it, and I feel like that's kind of what this is now.
He pitched him well.
Yeah, dude, behind the curtain there, Evan and I were texting each other last night, and he asked me that very question, Jessica, that you asked, and I texted back, Tausch. Yeah. So naturally, with his evil way of doing things, Evan had jumped on that opportunity, and we have had a few chuckles about that. But you know what? The one thing about it, and Tausch said it, I think on WTMJ earlier today, that as an AD, that's not really his area of expertise. But sure. I think someone like him has been underutilized. I think there's a way that in his current role with Wilde and Tausch and working with me in the game broadcast, that all stays the same. But you all know this. He is a wicked smart dude.
He is.
He is an incredibly intelligent human being, and he has ideas, and he can think outside the box. And I would hope in some capacity that the next athletic director, whoever that is, will recognize that. And there are others who are alums and people who have invested a lot into this institution, not just financially, invested emotionally, everything, who really love the place and want to help. So hopefully, as to specific names, Jessica, I'd be throwing names against the wall, and I don't think that would be the most responsible thing to do right now.
Yeah.
But it seems to me somebody who knows how to and is very willing and able to be out in public, press the flesh, be in front of groups, and cultivate relationships. I mean, to me, it just seems like in the world we're in, maybe more than ever, I think it's always been this way to an extent, maybe more than ever in college athletics, you need someone at the top who can relate to fans of all economic backgrounds, but obviously you need those big hitters. But like I said a couple of minutes ago, singles and doubles are good too. You've got to try to get everybody connected and be a part of this program.
Well, the search is on. Mac begins his new gig with the Big Ten on May 1st. Spring practices roll on. Before you know it, football season will be here, and we'll get to hear Matt LePay once again from the Badgers Radio Network. Always great stuff. Matt, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much,
Matt.
Good to be on with you. Take care.
Yeah, you did the same. Matt LePay joining us here at Wisconsin's Midday News.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Tory Low Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Tory Low Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner, serving greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. Greg Matzik here. They have done a number of projects for us over the years, and what has stood out in each and every one of those occasions, the fine quality craftsmanship and installation of high quality products. That's what separates Siding Unlimited from the rest. They've got all the awards to prove it. Pella, siding, doors, windows, roofing, you name it, it's Siding Unlimited. Really, any way to beautify and protect your home's exterior falls right into their world. Connect with them if you've got an idea. Maybe something isn't looking right, it's sagging, the color's fading, integrity breached. Call Siding Unlimited or check them out online at sidingunlimited.com.
Skylight Music Theater presents A Rockin' Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare's classic story meets an original genre-spanning score in this modern rock and roll musical full of humor, heart, and theatrical mischief. Join me, Sandy Max, for a special Max-Experience on April 15th. We will begin having drinks in the Skylight Bar at 6:30 p.m., followed by the performance at 7:30. Purchase tickets for April 15th at skylightmusictheater.org to join me and use promo code SANDY15 for 15% off your ticket. See you there.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Have you seen my husband?
No.
He's hot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What?
Good news. Hasselus Mattress is home to a variety of cool gel mattresses, including Tempur-Pedic.
Okay, but...
And right now, get 48 months interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic with approved credit. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup, free removal of your old mattress, and a $300 MasterCard gift card with your new Tempur-Pedic.
Wow, that's pretty hot.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Hey, is your son, daughter, or grandchild's birthday soon? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Hosting a birthday party is a lot of work. No need for you to cook and organize, then clean your home. How about having your party at the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free, with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or 50, the Mineshaft will host your party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids will love you more than ever. They even have your cake. I highly recommend the Mineshaft Restaurant for your next birthday party or a really fun, interactive business gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford. Click on Party Planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mineshaft.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, April 13th. Your top story: charges filed in the assault at Milwaukee's intermodal station.
I'm Jessica Ty. Could you lose power to your home this week?
Chance of rain later this afternoon and evening. Otherwise mostly cloudy, a low of 60 after a beautiful high of 79. It's 77 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 202. A man charged with climbing over a bathroom stall in the Milwaukee Intermodal Station and sexually assaulting a stranger.
Station security told investigators they found the man assaulting a woman on the bathroom floor. One of the guards then fired a single shot that didn't hit anyone before the man, identified in a complaint as Cephas Johnson, was arrested. The complaint notes the alleged station assault was the second incident in under 12 hours involving Johnson, who is also accused of assaulting a different woman outside a Wisconsin Avenue bar. He also allegedly told investigators if released, he would, quote, kill women. Downtown Alderman Bob Bauman is now calling on the state DOT to increase station security. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
With summer approaching, concerns are growing about police coverage across the city of Milwaukee.
As more officers are sent downtown to patrol areas like Water Street, questions remain about coverage in other neighborhoods.
Putting focus on our entertainment district downtown. Movement of officers around the city is what we do consistently. Are we in the greatest place in regards to our recruitment? No.
Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman tells WTMJ.
We need officers. We're looking for great men and women out here to reflect what our community needs in regards to great sworn officers doing the work for our community.
Chief Norman says they'll continue to balance resources citywide as overall crime is down 8%. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin's ban on utility shutoffs is ending on Wednesday, meaning some customers could lose power. We Energy says customers who are behind on their bills should contact the company and set up a payment plan. Utility also warning about scammers who ask for prepaid debit cards, Venmo, or Bitcoin to avoid such shutoffs. We Energy says customers who enroll and keep up with their payment plan will not be disconnected.
He's dropped out of running to be California's next governor. Now there are calls for Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell to leave the House of Representatives. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
In a brief statement, the bipartisan leadership of the House Ethics Committee says the panel has begun an investigation into the California Democrat regarding allegations of sexual misconduct. One woman who once worked for Eric Swalwell told the San Francisco Chronicle he sexually assaulted her when she was too intoxicated to consent, once in 2019 and again in 2024. Swalwell has fiercely denied the claim. Other women have said Swalwell sent them inappropriate text messages and lewd photos.
Some of Swalwell's colleagues say they'll vote to expel him if he doesn't quit on his own.
President Trump and Iran's negotiators called his administration seeking to make a deal. The U.S. imposed a naval blockade of Iranian ports after marathon talks in Pakistan this weekend failed to yield a settlement. The sticking point, President Trump said, was nuclear weapons.
We agreed to a lot of things, but they didn't agree to that. And I think they will agree to it. I'm almost sure of it. In fact, I am sure of it. If they don't agree, there's no deal. There'll never be a deal.
The president said another priority for the United States is to retrieve all the enriched uranium still in Iran's possession. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Pretty good day going here. The Dow is up about 100 points at 48,022. NASDAQ up nearly 200 points at 23,093. And the S&P 500 is up about 40 at 6857. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite, financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
How much time is Christian Yelich going to miss? Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:06.
MW Marine. Ready for the water? Stop into MW Marine and check out their showroom featuring the 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Lock in a great deal early so when summer hits, you're already launching, not waiting. Plus, full boat service and storage. They'll take top-notch care of your rig and get you on the water. MW Marine. Your summer starts here.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
From the leather aspect, leather has a lot of natural characteristic in it.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
And the leather suppliers, they disclaim, right? This leather is going to have bug bites. It's going to have maybe barbed wire marks, what have you.
Branding, there's brands and a lot of the leather that comes from certainly out west.
Right. Where they're still branding cattle.
Where they're still branding cattle will have branding marks in it.
But if you just sit and watch a cow, she scratches on everything. They do.
Walking over to a tree and going like this.
Just like they're 1,500 pounds. They're pushing on that tree or pushing on that fence. You wonder why they got marks on their body.
I love that in leather. When I see a leather sofa that has natural markings in it, I absolutely love that.
See more at pennymustard.com.
That leather lives on for a long, long time, a piece of furniture.
Right.
A long, long time.
Yep.
Vince Vetrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like. And you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text FLOOR to 855-616-1620 and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers await the results of an MRI that'll determine how much time Christian Yelich is going to miss with a hamstring injury suffered during Sunday's loss to the Nationals. Milwaukee's fifth straight defeat.
Every team's going to go through this, and it hurts like crazy, but I still like the team. We're most likely going to get some bad news on Yelich to further put us down, if you want to.
Homestand continues for Pat Murphy's Crew Tuesday night against the Toronto Blue Jays. After 3 seasons with the Bucks, head coach Doc Rivers stepping down. The Bucks finished the season with a record of 32-50.
From a coaching perspective, you feel like, the city that you're from, you didn't get the job done, and that is something I carry very heavy with me.
When asked if he's played his last game as a member of the Bucks, Giannis tells Eric Name of The Athletic, "I don't know. It's not up to me. We'll see." Giannis is eligible to sign a contract extension October 1st.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a crash. Man, the afternoon was looking so nice. No crashes to report until now. Boom. This happened just a couple of minutes ago, and it's in a bad spot. I-94 West at 175 North. The right lane is blocked due to a crash, and the delays are mounting. That is in our construction zone on 94. So that's I-94 West that is headed out of the city and right around the ballpark. It was already slow going due to the construction, and now it is worse because of this crash. So heads up, brand new I-94 West at 175 North. The right lane is blocked due to a crash. Also, 94 eastbound headed into the city. So right after you pass American Family Field, you start to see the slowdowns, and it is very slow right now. You're definitely going to be hitting the brakes, but it doesn't last long. So if you're headed into the city, once you pass, let's say, 27th Street, you're going to be good to go.
Chance of rain and storms tonight. Mostly cloudy, low of 60 degrees after a beautiful high of 78 today. Tuesday, similar forecast, partly cloudy and warm. Chance of afternoon storms and a high of 75. Rain again on Wednesday and a high of 62. It's currently 78 degrees, partly cloudy. In Milwaukee at 211.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Got stuck in a storm yesterday out in the middle of a soccer field near the Wisconsin Dells area. It looked like a decent day, and some of that morning rain had wandered away, and then about 3 o'clock or so, whoosh, just got drenched on the soccer field. They had to call things early because of lightning in that area, too. But big field, a lot of people playing soccer, and a lot of wet folks running to their car.
Yeah, just people going to work this morning, too. It was just wet outside. We definitely got a dousing. Late last night, I had the windows open, the front porch area open, and it was nice to listen to it. If you like a good storm, to hear it, it just, that rain coming down, it sounded good. But we're in for storms.
Yeah, multiple opportunities, I think, to experience what you just suggested here. It's 212.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1. What's up, Doc? Well, he's done. It is confirmed now. Today, the Milwaukee Bucks announced Doc Rivers is stepping down as head coach. Rivers took over in January of 2024 and led the team to 2 playoff appearances, plus the 2024 Emirates NBA Cup championship. But many fans were frustrated with Doc, feeling he should have been able to do more with a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team. The Bucks missed the playoffs this season for the first time in 10 years. There are also reports of a disconnect between Doc and the players this season. Here's Rivers last night after the Bucks' final game of the season, which was another loss.
It's too early to reflect. Honestly, I just want to be known as a good guy at the end of the day, a good parent. And I was able to change some of the players that I've coached lives. Other than that, it's not really for me to talk about.
Today, Bucks ownership is thanking Rivers for his leadership, calling him a class act both on and off the court. Rivers says he truly loved his time in Milwaukee, and he said it was special to come back to the city where he got his start. Remember, Doc played 3 seasons for Marquette in the early 80s. And I think that is what was so special for a lot of us is when he was announced, because it felt like a good fit, right? Seemed like a great fit back then.
Doc Rivers to the Milwaukee Bucks makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, did make a lot of sense, right? Until it didn't.
Well, you have to think about the applicant pool at that time, too, right? Adrian Griffin was fired at 43 games into the season, and the Bucks were 30-13. So it's not like you had this period of time to do an off-season search for your head coach. I mean, it was literally midstream, either promote an assistant or find somebody who has got a lot of coaching experience who is not coaching. Well, that list is pretty small. And, of course, the dot connecting world took you right to Doc Rivers. It just never worked. It really just never worked. And he had Hall of Fame talent. They were sort of in and out with injuries. I get that. This year was just a real disaster for a variety of reasons. It never worked. It was a failed experiment.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Hall of Fame coach. He does. He has a legendary NBA resume. 27 seasons as a head coach, 2 trips to the finals, an NBA title with Boston in 2008, and nearly 1,200 career wins, 6th most of all time. He's got the resume, no doubt. It just didn't end the way anyone wanted it to. And here's the thing. The Milwaukee Bucks now begin their 3rd head coaching search in 3 years.
Yeah, they're still paying Adrian Griffin. They'll pay Doc next year, whether he's with the organization or not, and then they have to hire another coach. So they'll be paying 3 coaches next year.
Yeah, and we talked to Eric Name, Bucks beat writer at The Athletic, during our first hour of Wisconsin's Midday News, and asked him, was this Doc's decision or did he get pushed out? And he said he believes it's a little bit of both.
Well, they need a new coach for the Bucks. They need a new athletic director in Madison. Chris McIntosh stepping down after 5 years on the job. He's leaving for a role with the Big Ten Conference beginning May 1st. The conference has already made that announcement of McIntosh's appointment, and it's a new role. It's never existed before with the Big Ten, so he is leaving UW. McIntosh lobbied recently for more money to pay student athletes, believing that they're losing the arms race. Other teams around them in the Big Ten and nationally have more money to spend for football players and basketball players, and it has carried those programs to new heights. Meanwhile, after the hiring of Luke Fickell a couple of years ago, UW has logged back-to-back losing seasons. So the resources were supposed to boost the football program, and it still could.
There was a need to invest more in football, and that's what we did, and that's what we've been executing. And I think, the progress we've shown and the success we've had in the portal just this last week is the first step of many that show the progress we're making.
Some recent news at the state level in which $14.6 million will be granted to UW for facilities maintenance. They can use that money and again put it toward the recruitment of student athletes. But then your mind starts to go to, all right, well, who's next? Who fills Chris McIntosh? He was groomed under Barry Alvarez. All signs pointed to Mac to fill that role. You're going to hear some candidates that have state ties, including Troy Vincent, who is an NFL executive vice president. He played defensive back for the Badgers, was an outstanding player and a first-round draft pick. You'll also hear the name, and you're maybe not hearing it as much, but Jamie Pollard. He's a UW Oshkosh graduate. I know Jamie because he ran track at UW Oshkosh, a little older than me, but I would see him at alumni meets and stuff like that, and we got to talking here and there. Well, he is currently the athletic director at Iowa State, and they have done wonderful things with their football and basketball programs there. They've adapted rather well in this new world of NIL. It may be considered a lateral move, or maybe it's the move that puts him back in his home state with a power conference in the Big Ten. That's another name you could hear. It's 2:17.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Well, after a long weekend out on the soccer field watching the kids play, it was good to be back home and in the basement, just chilling out last night, watching a movie. Thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. Our lower level is much more than just a basement. It is the go-to place. We hang out on game night, movie night. We love it just to be together in that lower level. Great for birthdays, hosting the family for holidays. Just been a wonderful place, designed and built by Matrix Basement Finishing. Connect with them if you've had even a thought of doing up that lower level, something special. Matrix will come out, no obligation, free consultation. They'll draw up some plans. You'll get an idea for what it could look like, what it could cost in that first initial meeting. They come to you, Matrix Basement Finishing, and they only do basements. It was an amazing process for us, and we are thrilled with the final result. Connect with matrixbasements.com. And if you're looking to get in on that lower level, you can book now and have no payments till 2028 with Matrix Basement Finishing.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
The leader in the dugout, the skipper, the man who riles up the crew with his words of inspiration.
You mean my old ass? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, that's our guy. Brewers manager Pat Murphy joins Wisconsin's Morning News every Tuesday at 8:45 for Brewers 360.
Say, Sprout, you're on the team. Deal with it.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Well, keep an eye on the radar, especially if I have outdoor plans tonight. We could get some storms firing up somewhere in the 4 o'clock hour or so, and we'll see. We'll see what develops here, but the atmosphere is a little unstable, so storms are possible tonight. Overnight low 60 degrees after a beautiful high today of 79 degrees. Similar forecast on Tuesday with a high of 75. It's 78 degrees, partly sunny, partly cloudy, we'll call it, in Milwaukee at 220.
In a renewed effort to get people to put their phones down while driving, a powerful PSA is back on Wisconsin airwaves. It's a message for the Buckle Up, Phone Down campaign, and this one breaks through. It features a Hartford man, Casey Schwartz, whose life was forever changed because of a crash involving a distracted driver. It was 2022 in the town of Richfield. His pregnant wife was killed, and so was his son.
You ever see the sign above the highway? The number of people that have been killed on the road?
Hey, go, go, go!
My wife, my son, and my unborn child were killed by a distracted driver. They were more than just a number.
That PSA is airing statewide this month on TV and radio stations, and you might see it on social media too. So why now and why again? Well, April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and I don't know if there's a story more powerful than this one. We talked with Casey Schwartz last year right here on Midday, and he shared his heartbreaking story with us.
I woke up like any morning I would wake up to get ready for work. The only unusual part was after Casey and Octavius had left to go to the daycare, I had like a phone call or a missed phone call from her boss at the time, which I didn't know the number, but I knew something kind of initially was up, so I called her back, and she said that she never made it to work. So I basically called my stepdad and from there, we're both on the volunteer fire department in Thrustle, Wisconsin. We tried calling him multiple times. I met up with him at his house, and I even just had like a bad feeling in my stomach to the point where I dry heaved. But we made our way south to try and kind of track her down, and eventually on our way, we found out via calling the Washington County Sheriff's Department that they were involved in a traffic accident, and neither one of them had survived.
His wife, Casey Lynn, traveled for work, and Casey told us even before the crash, he worried about all the driving she did and other drivers on the road.
Initially, I had always had like a bad feeling just with her travel and stuff and what she did. Like, I don't know. For some reason, texting and driving popped in my head that day, but I didn't really want to believe it happened. And then later on, as they went through their investigations and stuff, Detective Lallier with Washington County Sheriff's Department kind of kept me in the loop, and they discovered that he was using Snapchat that day and was basically using it to text at the time of the crash. So, I mean, I didn't really find anything out for probably a week or two, I feel like. But like I said, that whole time period, once the accident happened, I think your body kind of goes into a numbness, or you kind of get into a daze where the hours and the time kind of drags on or maybe speeds up. You don't really know because you're just kind of living in it at the time.
I'll never forget his story, because one person's decision while driving changed his life just like that. And we talk about stories like that, and I've interviewed numerous people, but this was not one person or two people. This was his wife and his son and his unborn child. Just like that. One day he wakes up and life is, you're just going about life. And then hours later, your life completely changed.
It's such a simple message, right? Buckle up, put the phone down. Seems very simple. And hopefully this does something to encourage more to do that. I wish there was a way to even self-police my own witnessing of this as you're driving around, right? You're behind somebody. It's like, well, we're getting to the center line here, whatever. And I'm getting around this. And you pass and you realize they're looking down at their phone aside of screaming out the window. What the heck are you doing? I don't know how much this is enforced, the texting and driving, or if it's sort of an ancillary citation because you were pulled over for speeding or something else and they tack this on. I don't know how police are handling it on a day-to-day basis, but I still see plenty of it. Every time I'm behind the wheel, I look, I see somebody.
Yeah, he did talk about police pulling people over and just how, there's not a ton of it right now.
I don't think it's a very popular traffic stop at this point in time, just because even going through the court process myself with the accident, it becomes very difficult for the lawyers to kind of prove, and just the way that they kind of dive into the cell phone usage and stuff, the way that people can kind of read the data that comes out makes it very difficult from my understanding. I don't think it's very easy for them.
I want to go back for a moment to quantifying this loss, because it's one thing for you to hear me say he lost so much. Like, we just can't put ourselves in those shoes, right? But he'll tell you himself. How do you describe the impact that this crash has had on you and your family?
I don't think there is a way to describe it, because I don't know too many other people. I can't think of one that comes to mind that's ever lost their wife and son and then an unborn child all in one accident. So literally you go from waking up having a normal everyday life to the next day you wake up and have essentially an empty home.
Every year in Wisconsin, there are more than 9,000 crashes. More than 9,000 crashes involving distracted driving. In 2024, which is the most recent year with complete data compiled, 44 people were killed in a crash involving a distracted driver. It is not easy for Casey to share his story, but he knows it will make a difference.
I've always felt this way about it. Like, if I can share my story and one person puts their phone down, as you guys know, buckle up, phone down, every trip, every time. If my story can impact somebody and they hear it and they make that decision not to text and drive and it saves one life, that's worth it for me. That's why I chose to do it.
Casey's story prompted the city of West Bend to step up this year and raise awareness about the consequences of distracted driving. West Bend is in Washington County, where Casey lives. The community is doing a number of things, including a month-long distracted driving educational campaign at its high schools. And Casey is also working with lawmakers to try to get tougher punishments for distracted drivers who cause crashes. But we all know that does not happen overnight. And just one more thing before we go to commercial break. We have a lot of fans listening in their cars while driving right now. You can speak directly to them. What message do you want to give those drivers?
Please put the phone down. You can drastically change somebody's life in 1 second. A lot of people think that it's never going to happen to them, and I guarantee the person that hit Casey and Octavius probably thought that same day, this will never happen to me. We get so used to it, and technology has become a part of our life, but there's ways to do it with the hands-free, and it's just so much easier. Like me, myself, I put my phone in a focus now, so if somebody shoots me a message or tries to call, it sends them an automated message that says I'm driving, buckle up, phone down every trip, every time. I have it sent to them so that everybody sees that it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it because your life can change so fast.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Horicon Bank was founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. Your business. Horicon Bank. Greg Matzik here, reminding you that Horicon Bank is celebrating its 130th anniversary in 2026. That's incredible. A single branch in Horicon has turned into multiple branches, really all over the place now, and including several new locations in southeastern Wisconsin. From New Berlin to Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls and Grafton, and West Bend, it's Horicon Bank, with service and products that go hand in hand. Top-notch products and really top-notch people have made this business what it is, 130 years. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, and member FDIC.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here. You know I'm obsessed with all things royal, so we're rolling out the red carpet to personally invite you on the British Crown experience with Fox World Travel and Insight Vacations. We're talking about the changing of the guard, the crown jewels, high tea, Stonehenge, Oxford, the full royal treatment. This isn't just a tour, it's history you can feel. I hope you join me. Visit foxworldtravel.com or 866-GO-FOX-GO, 866-GO-FOX-GO.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need at unbeatable prices? Like $2 off new Purina horse feed, 15% off Shepherd brand wheels, casters, and floor protection. And assorted Gibraltar mailboxes are on sale, 20% off. Plus, come visit us at the Midwest Horse Fair April 17th through the 19th. Tickets are on sale now. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Vince Vetrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. If you're trying to work, juggle life, and keep your dog happy at the same time, look, I get it. We're the same way. Thankfully, we found the Hounds and Tap for doggy daycare for our Greyhound Knight. It's been a game changer for us. He gets exercise, time to socialize with other dogs. We know Knight's in great hands at the Hounds and Tap. They even take care of his grooming during his visits or separate appointments. That's perfect for us. If you're like us and searching for top-tier services and a team you can trust, get connected at thehoundsandtap.com.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination, with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, April 13th. Your top story, adding more teachers while trying to balance the budget.
I'm Jessica Ty, cracking down on late-night activity in downtown Milwaukee.
Rain expected this afternoon and evening. Keep an eye out for storms developing. Mostly cloudy overnight and a low of 60. Tomorrow's high 75. Rain in the forecast. It's 78 degrees, partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:33. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, nearly 90 new teaching positions will be added next year across MPS. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius says it's part of a plan to manage and reduce class sizes while building a balanced budget. Telling Wisconsin's Morning News.
Now we have to turn our attention to staffing all of those positions because, we have a vacancy problem in our district as well. But want to let the public know that we are ready and wanting to welcome all of the teachers across Wisconsin, across this nation that want to come work for a really amazing school district.
District officials are expected to present a final budget plan next month.
Milwaukee leaders are looking to crack down on late-night activity along Water Street. The proposal would require food trucks in the downtown entertainment district to shut down at 10 p.m. instead of 1 a.m. Alderman Bob Bauman during the Public Safety and Health Committee meeting.
Basically, the downtown zone with a very small piece also in the 6th district and an even smaller piece in the 3rd district, but the vast majority is 4th aldermanic district. And hopefully this will thwart some of the disorder, some of the loitering, some of the congregating, some of the tailgating that goes on.
The ordinance passed the committee. It now heads to the full Common Council.
A new affordable housing subdivision coming to Oak Creek. Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley.
Just last week, the Oak Creek City Council unanimously approved our proposal to build up to 50 new homes as part of the first ever affordable housing subdivision that will be constructed in a suburban community right here within Milwaukee.
The federally funded project will be developed on county-owned land near Highway 32. Construction is expected to begin next year.
A man is in custody this afternoon after arming himself with a baseball bat at a youth sporting event in Franklin.
Franklin police initially responded to reports of gunshots being fired at the Midwest Orthopedic Performance Center around 2:45 Sunday afternoon. It turned out that several people in the crowd got into a fight, and there is no evidence that any gun was fired. Police arrested a 36-year-old man from Illinois on recommended charges of recklessly endangering safety for allegedly arming himself with a baseball bat. One person was treated at the scene for minor injuries. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 2:35.
The historic Fox and Hounds is one of the most beautiful and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure here, and it's my very favorite. Every night, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Choice steaks, honey glazed salmon, pan-fried walleye, pasta, seafood, even the steak and lobster. How about ribs? Any entree, dessert, and ice cream drink are all buy one, get one free. Celebrate a birthday, your anniversary, a retirement, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie and get a free dinner. Have your employee appreciation dinner. How about a wedding reception, rehearsal, or family reunion dinner at the Fox and Hounds? Half of those dinners are free. Right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest, the views are spectacular. The dining rooms are gorgeous. Gift cards make perfect year-round gifts. Everyone loves a free dinner. Google and order online. Your gift cards will arrive shortly. Reserve your corporate or family dinner, wedding shower, or rehearsal dinner today. Half your dinners are free every night at the award-winning Fox and Hounds.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes. And for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers awaiting the results of an MRI on the hamstring of Christian Yelich. He suffered the injury during Sunday's loss to the Nationals, Milwaukee's fifth straight defeat. No game for the Brewers today. The homestand continues Tuesday against the Blue Jays. And after 3 seasons with the Bucs, head coach Doc Rivers stepping down. Milwaukee finished the season with a record of 32-50. Next up for the Bucs on the offseason calendar, the draft lottery, which will be May 10th.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a bit of a mess. A crash that popped up just after 2 o'clock on I-94 West at 175 North. That is a busy spot because it's our construction zone. The right lane is blocked because of this crash. Once again, newer crash, I-94 West at Wisconsin 175 North. The right lane is blocked, and because of that, we are seeing the delays get longer and longer. Also seeing delays on 94 eastbound headed into the city. So that's right around American Family Field. Heads up there. Other than that, just a couple of disabled vehicles that are not causing problems.
Rain expected late this afternoon and evening. Overnight low 60 degrees. Tomorrow, very similar forecast to today. Temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. Rain likely. It's currently 78 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 239. Well, the stage is set for a showdown over shipping off of the coast of Iran. The U.S. military blocking all of Iranian ports and coastal areas after President Trump's threat to entirely block the Strait of Hormuz. Trump warning on social media that Iranian ships that come anywhere close to the U.S. blockade will be destroyed immediately. ABC's Jordana Miller joining us on the line from Jerusalem. Hi, Jordana.
Hi there. That U.S. blockade now has begun. It went formally, it was implemented at about 10 a.m. Eastern. There's about a dozen naval vessels taking part in this blockade, and there will be more coming to the area. This is obviously a huge operation, and I think it's going to take some time to see whether whether the blockade is going to bring us closer to negotiations and an end to the war, or whether the blockade is going to lead us to possible new confrontations, right, on the high seas, and the resumption of the war, restarting a new phase of the war. I think right now it's kind of unclear where we're going, though we did hear the president say earlier today that the Iranians have called the White House and they want to make a deal. But as we know, there's still huge differences in the positions of the U.S. and Iran, most importantly over the nuclear issue, which seems to be one of the biggest obstacles outside of the Strait of Hormuz. There are reports that at least 2 vessels have turned around in the Strait of Hormuz since the blockade began. I think we're going to have to keep our eyes and watch and see what happens going forward. There is a huge issue as well with mines, right? We know that the Iranians have mined part of the Strait of Hormuz, and there's going to have to be some kind of effective mission to remove those mines, to convince big shippers that it's safe to go through there. And that's provided the Iranians don't attack any U.S. naval vessels. That's what the Iranians are threatening to do. They're saying any U.S. military ship in the Strait of Hormuz will be considered a violation of the ceasefire, and they're also threatening to attack ports in the Gulf. So it's obviously a very tense time.
You mentioned a couple of oil tankers have already turned back today. That happened pretty early on. I was actually tracking, you can track those ships on the marine traffic website. I know some people like to do that. It's kind of interesting. I could watch that for a while. So I'd be interested to know, as these days go on, how many are going to be turned away. But Jordana, what exactly does a blockade mean in practice? I mean, are U.S. ships stopping and inspecting these vessels? Are they firing on violators? We talk about this blockade, but what does it actually mean?
Well, it does mean, according to CENTCOM and what some U.S. officials have said, that if ships are coming through with goods and products that are that need to get through, they will be checked by the U.S. Navy. But it also means that the ships coming from Iranian ports will not be allowed out of the Strait of Hormuz, right? So that means they'll be contacted by the U.S. Navy and told to turn around. Now, the big question is, if they don't turn around, what happens, right? Are they going to be fired on? That's what the president said in his social media post, right? It's hard to see how firing on a tanker is going to keep the ceasefire intact, right? That's why I think there's such a risk here that we could be at a moment where we're just a step away from the Iran war continuing in another phase, and the ceasefire really not lasting very long.
Well, it's fragile to put a word on it. I was going to ask you, you're over there. You're right in that region of the world. Does it feel like a ceasefire is in place?
Well, I think until the president announced that he was going to block the Strait of Hormuz, it did feel like we had a few days of a break. People could send their kids back to school here in Israel. You could go to bed and not worry about being woken up with the siren. The sense of everyday safety for Israelis returned rather quickly, except for the north, where they're still fighting between Israel and the Iranian-backed militia Hezbollah. So it felt like a breather. But once the president announced that the strait was going to be blocked, then I think people started to think, okay, well, at any moment, once the blockade begins, there could be some kind of confrontation between Iranian vessels and American Navy vessels, and the ceasefire could end quickly. So I think now there's a lot of anxiety here about, what exactly is coming next.
Are people where you are, Jordana, paying attention to what Pope Leo is saying? Because Pope Leo now responding that he has no fear of the Trump administration after you had over the weekend the president posting on social media calling the Pope weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. The Pope is somebody who people look to for guidance. And I'm just wondering, it's in the headlines, of course, here in the U.S., but I'm wondering how much people are paying attention to it around the world right now.
Well, I'm sitting in Jerusalem, and I think this is a city that, if you've ever visited here, there is a palpable sense of spirituality here. It's oozing, for Jews, for Christians, for Muslims. And so, of course, I think what Pope Leo has said has obviously made the headlines here, and people are talking about it, because the Pope is a spiritual leader, right? And he represents, he has a duty, as he says, to represent what he believes are the foundational beliefs of the church, right? That's his job. That's his mission in life, right? So he has every right to speak against war and in favor of peace. And of course, there's lots of religious leaders here on the Jewish side that are doing the same thing, right? So I think, it's good to know that the Pope, who's American, right, won't be bullied by President Trump or anybody else.
ABC's Jordana Miller joining us from Jerusalem. Jordana, we appreciate it. Stay
Thanks
safe.
so much.
Thanks. Talk soon, guys.
It's 2:47.
It's early in the year, but if you want that outdoor living project, that dream outdoor oasis started, you need to visit Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha. Nobody has a showroom like it. Bring your ideas, get new ideas, but let's design and build a backyard together. New deck, outdoor kitchen, fire pit, screen room, even a putting green or an automated pergola. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hey, I want to tell you a little story about our master closet at home. It was a mess. It was cluttered. It was a source of stress for us. I do not like clutter, and it had become a mess in our master closet. Builder-grade racking. The stuff wasn't staying where it was supposed to stay. It just became an overall cluttery sort of area. Didn't like it. Inspired Closets Milwaukee came up with a solution and helped us design something to reduce the clutter, reduce the stress, and get everything organized. Installed a couple of months ago. It still looks brand new. And that's because we've got a space for everything. Our laundry is hidden. No more looking at the shoes. Got to take that big clunky dresser out of the closet. Inspired Closets Milwaukee came up with a beautiful solution. They put it to 3D, and then we were able to put on some virtual reality goggles and walk through the space, quite literally. Pretty amazing stuff. The only thing we couldn't do is open a door. Amazing work with Inspired Closets Milwaukee. They'll do the same for you. If you got an area of your home that is a little cluttered and you want to be clutter-free, connect with Inspired Closets Milwaukee, a wife and husband team. It's Katie and Dan to the rescue, like they did for us. Pantry, mudroom, it could be that walk-in closet like we had, a linen closet. Ask what they can do in your garage at inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
Discover your new favorite city, Milwaukee. Catch a sunrise over Lake Michigan. Sip your way through craft breweries. And dive into a dining scene that's turning heads. From museums and music to thrilling sports teams and buzzing nightlife, Milwaukee delivers all season long. Good things are always brewing on the Fresh Coast. The expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org have everything you need to fully plan every detail. Whatever it is you'd like to do in Milwaukee. Plan your trip today at visitmilwaukee.org.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from park to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics, started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Rain could be on the way here in the later afternoon hours and into the evening. Overnight low 60 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast similar to today. Temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. Good chance of rain. We cool off a little bit on Wednesday with temperatures in the mid-60s. Rain again in the forecast. It's kind of a thing for the bulk of the week here. Hopefully you can dodge some drops and get out and enjoy some warm temperatures. It's 78 degrees and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:51.
Songbird just rocked Coachella. Now we know he's coming to Milwaukee. The Grammy-nominated breakout star is hitting the road this fall with his brand new You Are the Reason tour. Samber will perform at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee on Tuesday, November 3rd. Tickets go on sale Friday. For fans who can't wait, by the way, Greg, you listen to him every once in a while, right, with the girls?
Pops on my my Spotify feed once in a while.
Well, he's set to drop new music this week.
Well, there you go.
Earlier this year, Samber performed at the Grammys. I'll be honest, when he popped up, I was like, wait, who is this guy? And I love this song, and he really is a breakout star. But I think a lot of people, unless you were like right on top of it right away, didn't know who he was. But then he performed at the Grammys. He was the long, lanky guy with curly hair. He was wearing a shiny suit, showing off his chest, jumping off a platform to start.
Wait a minute, what?
Well, if you saw it, if you didn't know who he was and you watched the Grammys, you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, that's who it was. He was up for Best New Artist at the Grammys, but that honor went to Olivia Dean.
It sounds like a different artist you were describing there. The flashy suit and the mustache.
Doesn't
and the
sound
curly
somber.
Hair. It doesn't sound somber. It's not the actual word somber. It's not spelled out here, right? It's SOMBR, all caps.
Correct.
I got that right? Okay.
You got it.
Okay, good. Well, it does come across my Spotify feed because my daughters like Taylor Swift, so we're in the car. I find a Taylor station, and it's a mix. And they get mad when anything else pops up. And I had scold one of my daughters that if it weren't for Kelly Clarkson, there'd be no Taylor, so we're going to enjoy Since You've Been Gone, and I'm going to open the sunroof and scream it out the windows.
Oh, look at you.
But yeah, Somber pops on once in a while, so I've listened to it and thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. Olivia Dean, though, I think she deserved that honor.
Okay, well, nonetheless, new music popping from Somber, so if you want to get your Somber on, he is sure to bring fans to their feet.
It is nice, though, to see concert announcements like this because when you have somebody who just played Coachella, I mean, Coachella is huge. And you think about the price. I don't even know exactly what the ticket prices are these days, but it's insane to go to Coachella. So most of us, we can't afford to go to Coachella. But you have somebody like Somber now coming to Milwaukee. That's great.
No, it's a big get. Coachella, is that all wrapped up? That was like a last weekend kind of thing or a recent thing? That's out in California, the Coachella Valley. You're practically in Death Valley, and they got this giant concert with dozens of bands. It really is an event, multi-day event.
Beyond Somber, I also know that Bieber played at Coachella.
Yeah.
And at some point, he just basically had a big screen behind him, and he had a laptop, and he was pulling up YouTube videos of like the paparazzi going after him or himself with YouTube. It was very interesting. I feel like Coachella wanted him, and Bieber was like, sure, but you got to do it my way. And this is how we're going to do it.
The art.
It was unique.
The art of it all. 2:54 here on WTMJ. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Side Again Limited. We'd love it if you subscribe to our podcast, and you can listen whenever is convenient for you to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. And a reminder that we're also on YouTube. Each and every show is streamed live. You might be listening in your car or at work, but you can also watch. You can do it on YouTube, Wisconsin's Midday News YouTube page at WTMJ. Enjoy us. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is coming up in just a few minutes here. We are back again tomorrow on a Tuesday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News.